fun with it, because I think one of the most important things with Shakespeare is just to really get into the language and explore the language, because I mean, as we've made so many great sort of advances over the centuries, one of the things that I don't think we've really made any advances of is in terms of the use of language, because nobody's topped Shakespeare. So anyways, I just want to check in with the cast and welcome. We've got some first timers to Instant Shakespeare, so thank you so much, as Roger and Miriam and Lila, and it's really great. I think Michael, I don't know if you want to say anything first, but I think we should have each of the participants introduce who they are and what part they're playing. I'm Paul Sugarman. I'm the founder of Instant Shakespeare Company. I'll be the messenger and doing stage directions.
I'm Tony Shyman, and I'll be playing Dogberry, the constable.
I'm Evan Sachs, pronouns he, him, or Caesar. I will be playing Conrad and the boy.
Derek
I'm David Lutzer, and I'll be playing Leonato, otherwise known as the old man or brother.
Antonio, actually, you're playing
Antonio, Leonato's brother.
Right. Derek Tarson, I'm playing Leonato.
Oh, Antonio, you're right. I got it mixed up. I read it opposite.
I'm Michael Gardner. I'm playing Borachio and the Friar.
I'm Jennifer.
I'm Alex Chilton.
Playing About the Tsar. I wanted the second watch.
And I'm Alex Chilton, and I'm playing Claudio.
I'm
playing Margaret.
and I use she, her pronouns, and I'll be playing Hero.
I am Miguel Fania, he, him, his, and I'm playing Benedict.
I'm Lila Smith, and I'll be reading Beatrice.
I'm Virginia Hammer, and I'll be doing Burgess and Ursula.
Hi, I'm Roger Lipson. I'll be playing Don Pedro. How's my mic level here? Okay?
Yeah.
Good.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Vicky, did she?
I think we've heard from
Which
pretty
comes?
much everybody.
Oh,
Ken,
I'm sorry.
did you-
I didn't hear. I missed you. I'm sorry.
I am Kenny Wayne, and I'm going to be doing Don John.
Alrighty, and just a reminder to the actors again to mute yourself when you're not in a scene, and to hide your video, and to unmute and unhide when you do it. Michael, do you want to say anything more before we
Just
get
want to make
going?
sure, Ken, are you okay? Ken seems to be having some problems, technical problems.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're a little bumpy, but you're there.
A little bumpy.
Yeah.
It's bumpy. That this is the best I could do. But I'm glad.
Well,
to
I
be
mean,
doing
sometimes it
Don
goes in and
John.
out.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I mean, as we do these things, if there's problems where people are not able to I'll sort of step in to cover for things when we have technical things, but we'll try and, as much as possible, give everyone a chance to do it. So now, without further ado, let us hide our videos and begin. I mean, except you don't need to stop your video. If you're in the very first scene for Actus Primus, enter Actus Primus Scena Prima. Enter Leonato, governor of Messina, Inogen, his wife, a totally phantom character, so don't worry about that. Hero, his daughter, and Beatrice, his niece, with messenger.
I learn in this letter that Don Peter of Aragon comes this night to Messina.
He is very near by this. He was not 3 leagues off when I left him.
How many gentlemen have you lost in this action?
But few of any sort, and none of name.
A victory is twice itself when the achiever brings home full numbers. I find here that Don Peter hath bestowed much honor on a young Florentine called Claudio.
Oh, much deserved on his part, and equally remembered by Don Pedro. He hath borne himself beyond the promise of his age, doing in the figure of a lamb the feats of a lion. He hath indeed bettered expectation than you must expect of me to tell you how.
He hath an uncle here in Messina, will be very much glad of it.
Oh, I have already delivered him letters, and there appears much joy in him, even so much that joy could not show itself modest enough without a badge of bitterness.
Did he break out in tears?
In great measure.
A kind overflow of kindness. There are no faces truer than those that are so washed. How much better it is to weep at joy than to joy at weeping.
I pray you, is Signor Montano returned from the wars or no?
I know none of that name, lady. There was none such in the army of any sort.
What is he that you ask for, niece?
My cousin means Signor Benedict of Padua.
Oh, he's returned, and as pleasant as ever he was.
He set up his bills here in Messina and challenged Cupid at the fight, and my uncle's fool reading the challenge subscribed for Cupid and challenged him at the burbolt. I pray you, how many hath he killed and eaten in these wars? But how many hath he killed? For indeed I promised to eat all of his killing.
Faith, niece, you tax Signor Benedict too much. But he'll be meet with you, I doubt it not.
He hath done good service, lady, in these wars.
You had musty victual, and he hath holp to ease it. He's a very valiant trencherman. He hath an excellent stomach.
And a good soldier too, lady.
And a good soldier to a lady. But what is he to a lord?
A lord to a lord, a man to a man, stuffed with all honorable virtues.
It is so indeed. He is no less than a stuffed man. But for the stuffing, well, we are all mortal.
You must not, sir, mistake my niece. There is a kind of merry war betwixt Signor Benedict and her. They never meet, but there's a skirmish of wit between them.
Alas, he gets nothing by that. In our last conflict, 4 of his 5 wits went holding off. And now is the whole man governed with 1, so that if he hath wit enough to keep himself warm, let him bear it for a difference between himself and his horse. For it is all the wealth that he hath left to be known a reasonable creature. Who is his companion now? He hath every month a new sworn brother.
Is it possible?
Very easily possible. He wears his faith, but as the fashion of his hat, it ever changes with the next block.
I see, lady. The gentleman is not in your books.
No, and he were, I would burn my study. But I pray you, who is his companion? Is there no young squarer now that will make a voyage with him to the devil?
He is most in the company of the right noble Claudio.
No, Lord, he will hang upon him like a disease. He is sooner caught than the pestilence, and the taker runs presently mad. God help the noble Claudio, if he hath caught the Benedict, it will cost him £1,000 ere he be cured.
I will hold friends with you, lady.
Do, good friend.
You'll ne'er run mad, niece.
No, not till a hot January.
Don Pedro is approached. Enter Don Pedro, Claudio, Benedict, Balthazar, and John the Bastard.
Good Signor Leonardo, you come to meet your trouble. The fashion of the world is to avoid cost, and you encounter it.
Never came trouble to my house in the likeness of your grace. But trouble being gone, comfort should remain. And when you depart from me, sorrow abides, and happiness takes his leave.
You embrace your charge too willingly. I think this is your daughter?
Her mother hath many times told me so.
Were you in doubt that you asked her?
Signor Benedict, no.
Signor de Benedict, no. But then you were a child.
You have it full, Benedict. We may guess by this what you are, being a man, truly the lady's father herself. Be happy, lady, for you are like an honorable father.
If Signor Leonato be her father, she would not have his head on her shoulders for all Messina, as like him as she is.
I wonder that you will still be talking, Signor Benedict. Nobody marks you.
What, my dear Lady Disdain, are you yet living?
Is it possible Disdain should die while she hath such meat food to feed it as Signor Benedict? Courtesy itself must convert to disdain if you come in her presence.
Then is courtesy a turncoat, but it is certain I am loved of all ladies, you excepted. And I would I could find in my heart that I had not a hard heart, for truly I love none.
A dear happiness to women, they would else have been troubled with a pernicious suitor. I thank God and my cold blood, I am of your humor for that. I had rather hear a dog bark at a crow than a man swear he loves me.
Oh, God, keep your ladyship still in that mind, so some gentleman or other shall scape a predestinate scratched face.
For such a face as yours were.
Well, you are a rare parrot, teacher.
A bird of my tongue is better than a beast of yours.
I would my horse had the speed of your tongue, and so good a continuer, but keep your way at God's name, I have done.
You always end with a jade's trick. I know you of old.
Oh, this is the summer of all. Leonato, Signor Claudio, and Signor Benedict, my dear friend Leonato hath invited you all. I tell him we shall stay here at least a month, and he heartily prays some occasion may detain us longer. I dare swear he is no hypocrite, but prays from his heart.
If you swear, my lord, you shall not be forsworn. Let me bid you, my lord, being reconciled to the prince your brother, I owe you all duty.
I thank you. Of many words, but I thank you.
Please, your grace, lead on.
Your hand, Leonato. We will go together.
Exeunt, Manet, Benedict, and Claudio.
Benedict, didst thou note the daughter of Signor Leonato?
I noted her not, but I looked on her.
Is she not a modest young lady?
Do you question me as an honest man should do, from my simple true judgment? Or would you have me speak after my custom, as being a professed tyrant to their sex?
No, I pray thee, speak in sober judgment.
Why, if faith methinks she's too low for a high praise, too brown for a fair praise, and too little for a great praise. Only this commendation I can afford her, that were she other than she is, she were unhandsome, and being no other, but as she is, I do not like her.
Thou thinkest I am in sport. I pray thee, tell me truly how thou likest her.
Would you buy her, that you inquire after her?
Can the world buy such a jewel?
Yeah, and a case. But speak you with this with a sad brow, or do you play the flouting jack to tell us Cupid is a good hair finder, and Vulcan a rare carpenter? Come, in what key shall a man take you to go in the song?
In mine eye, she is the sweetest lady that ever I looked up.
I see no such matter. Here's her cousin, and she were not possessed with a fury, exceeds her as much in beauty as the 1st of May doth in the last of December. But I hope you have no intent to turn husband, have you?
I would scarce trust myself, though I had sworn the contrary, if Hero would be my wife.
Is't come to this? In faith, hath not the world one man, but he will wear his cap with see a bachelor of 80 again? Go to, i' faith, and thou wilt needs thrust thy neck into a yoke, wear the print of it, and sigh away Sundays. Look, Don Pedro is returned to seek you.
Enter Don Pedro.
What secret hath held you here that you follow not to Leonato's?
I would your grace would...
I charge thee on thy allegiance.
You hear, Count Claudio? I can be secret as a dumb man. I would have you think so. But on my allegiance, mark you this, on my allegiance, he is in love. With who? Now that is your grace's part.
So it uttered.
Like the old tale, my lord, it is not so, nor 'twas it not so, but indeed, God forbid, it should be so.
If my passion change not shortly, God forbid it should be otherwise.
Amen, if you love her, for the lady is very wealth-worthy.
You speak this to fetch me in, my lord?
Well, by my troth, I speak my thought.
And in faith, my lord, I spoke mine.
And by my too faith and troth, my lord, I speak mine.
That I love her, I feel.
That she is worthy, I know.
That neither I feel how she should be is the opinion that fire cannot melt out of me. I will die in it at the stake.
Thou wast ever an obstinate heretic in the despot of beauty.
And never could maintain his part but in the force of his will.
That a woman conceive me, I thank her. That she brought me up, I likewise give her most humble thanks. But that I will have a richet winded my forehead, or hung my bugle in an invisible baldric, all women shall pardon me, because I will not do them the wrong to mistrust any. I will do myself the right to trust none, and the fine is, for the which I may go the finer, I will live
I
a
shall
bachelor.
see thee ere I die. Look pale with love.
With anger, with sickness, or with hunger, my lord, not with love. Prove that I ever lose more blood with love than I will get again with drinking. Pick out mine eyes with the ballet maker's pen, and hang me up at the door of a brothel house for the sign of a blind Cupid.
If ever thou doest fall from this faith, thou wilt prove a notable argument.
If I do, hang me, hat, and shoot at me, and he that hits me, let him be clapped on the shoulder and called Ado.
Well, as time shall try, in time the savage bull doth bear the yoke.
The savage bull may, but if ever the sensible Benedict bear it, pluck it off and set them in my forehead. And let me be vilely painted, and in such great letters as is writ, here is a good horse to hire. Let him signify under my sign, here may you see Benedict, the married
If this
man.
should ever happen, thou wouldest be horn mad.
Nay, if and all his quiver in Venice, thou wilt quake for this shortly.
I look for an earthquake too, then.
Well, you will temporize with the hours. In the meantime, good Senor Benedict, repair to Leonato's, commend me to him, and tell him I will not fail him at supper, for indeed he hath made great preparation.
I have almost matter enough in me for such an embassage, and so I
To
commit
the
you.
to wood from my house if I had it.
The 6th of July, your loving friend, Benedict.
Nay, mock not, mock not. The body of your discourse is sometime guarded with fragments, and the guards are but slightly basted on neither, ere you flout old ends any further, and so I leave you.
My liege, your highness now may do me good.
My love is thine to teach. Teach it but how, and thou shalt see how apt it is to learn any hard lesson that may do thee good.
Hath Leonardo any son, my lord?
No child but Hero. She is his only heir. Doth thou affect her, Claudio?
Had a rougher task in hand than to drive liking to the name of love. But now I'm returned, and that war thoughts have left their places vacant. In their rooms come thronging soft and delicate desires, all prompting me how fair young Hero is, saying I liked her ere I went to wars.
Thou wilt be like a lover presently, and tire the hearer with a book of words. If thou dost love, fair Hero, cherish it, and I will break with her. Was not to this end that thou beganst to twist?
Minister to love that know love's grief by his complexion. But lest my liking might too sudden seem, I would have salved it with a longer treatise.
What need the bridge much broader than the flood? The fairest grant is the necessity. Look what will serve is fit. 'Tis once thou lovest, and I will fit thee with the remedy. I know we shall have reveling tonight. I will assume thy part in some disguise, and tell fair Hero I will unclasp my heart, and tell her hearing prisoner with the force and strong encounter of my amorous tale. Then after to her father will I break, and the conclusion is she shall be thine. Let us put it presently.
How now, brother? Where is my cousin your son? Hath he provided this music?
He is very busy about it, but brother, news that you dreamt not of.
Are they good?
As the events stamp that, but they have a good cover. They show outward that the prince and Count Claudio walking in a thick, pleached alley in my orchard, where thus overheard by a man of mine, the prince discovered to Claudio that he loved my niece, your daughter, and meant to acknowledge it at this night and in a dance. And he found her accordant, and he meant to take the present time by the top, instantly break with you and hear you, by the way. A good sharp fellow. I will send for him and question him yourself.
No, no. We will hold it as a dream till it appear itself. But I will acquaint my daughter with all, that she may go you and tell her of it. Cousins, you know what you have to do. Oh, I cry you mercy, friend. Go with me and I will use your skill. Good cousin, have a care this busy time.
Exeunt. Enter Sir John the Bastard and Conrad his companion.
What a year, my lord! Why are you thus so out of measure sad?
Occasion that breeds it. Therefore, this is without limits.
You should hear reason.
And when I have heard it, what blessing bringeth it?
Prince.
I wonder that thou, being as thou sayest thou art born under Saturn, goest about to apply a moral medicine to a more. I must be sad when I have cause and smile at no man's jest, eat when I have stomach and wait for no man's laughter, sleep when I am drunk, claw no man in his humor.
Yea, but you must not make the full show of this till you may do it without controlment. You have of late stood out against your brother, and he hath ta'en you newly into his grace, where it is impossible you should take root, but by the fair weather that you make yourself. It is needful that you frame the season for your own harvest.
I had rather be a canker in a head foes in his grace. And it better fits my blood to be disdained of all than to fashion a carriage to rob love from any. In this, though I cannot be said to be a plain-dealing villain, I am trusted with a muzzle and franchised with a clog. Therefore, I have decreed not to sing in my cage. If I had my mouth, if I had my liberty, I would do my liking. In the meantime, let me be that I am, and seek not to alter me.
Can you make no use of your discontent?
I make all use, I use it only. Who comes here? What news, Borachio?
Enter Borachio.
I came yonder from a great supper. The prince, your brother, is royally entertained by Leonardo, and I can give you intelligence of an intended marriage.
Will it serve for any muddle to build a mischief on? What is he for a fool that betroths himself to unquietness?
Marry, it is your brother's right hand.
Who? The most exquisite Claudio?
Even he.
A proper squire. And who, which way looks he?
Marry, on Hero of Leonardo.
Very forward march, chick. How came you to this?
Being entertained for a perfumer as I was smoking a musty room, comes me the prince and Claudio hand in sad conference. I went behind the curtains, and there heard it agreed upon that the prince, hero for himself, and having obtained her, give her over to Claudio.
Come, let us thither. This proved food to my displeasure. That young starter passed every way. You are both sure and will assist me?
To the death, my lord.
Let us to the great supper. Their fear is the greater that I am subdued with a cook were of my mind. Shall we go through what's to be done?
We'll wait upon your lordship.
Exeunt. Actus Secundus. Enter Leonardo, his brother, Hero, his daughter, and Beatrice, his niece.
Was not Count John here at supper?
I saw him not.
How tartly that gentleman looks. I never can see him, but I am heartburned in our...
A very melancholy disposition.
He were an excellent man that were made just in the midway between him and Benedict. The one is too much like an image and says nothing, and the other too like my lady's eldest son, evermore tattling.
Then have Signor Benedict's tongue in Count John's mouth, and have Count John's melancholy in Signor Benedict.
With a good leg and a good foot, uncle, and enough money in his purse, such a man would win any woman in the world, if he could get her goodwill.
By my troth, niece, thou wilt never get thee a husband if thou be so shrewd of thy tongue.
In faith, she's too cursed.
Too cursed is more than cursed. I shall lessen God sending that way, for it is said, God sends a cursed cow short horns, but to a cow too cursed, he sends none.
So by being too cursed, God will send you no horns.
Just, if he send me no husband, for the which blessing I am at him upon my knees every morning and evening. Lord, I could not endure a husband with a beard on his face. I'd rather lie in the woolen.
You may light upon a husband that hath no beard.
What should I do with him? Dress him in my apparel and make him my waiting gentlewoman? He that hath a beard is more than a youth, and he that hath no beard is less than a man. And he that is more than a youth is not for me, and he that is less than a man, I am not for him. Therefore I will even take sixpence in earnest of the bird, and lead his apes into hell.
Well then, go you into hell?
No, but to the gate, and there will the devil meet me like an old cuckold with horns on his head, and say, get you to heaven, Beatrice, get you to heaven. Here's no place for you maids. So deliver I up my apes, and away to St. Peter for the heavens. He shows me where the bachelors sit, and there live we, as merry as the day is long.
I lost the place here. Where are we, by the way?
I'm in a party.
21.
What's that?
Your line
21?
is well means. I trust you will be ruled by your father.
21, you said?
Yeah.
Yep.
Bottom of 21.
Bottom of 21. Oh, I see. Let me see, because I just... Well, niece, I trust you'll be ruled by your father.
Yes, faith, it is my cousin's duty to make courtesy and say as it please you. But yet, for all that, cousin, let him be a handsome fellow, or else make another courtesy, and father, say, father, as it please me.
Well, niece, I hope to see you one day fitted with a husband.
Not till God make men of some other metal than earth. Would it not grieve a woman to be overmastered with a piece of valiant dust? To make account of her life to a clod of wayward moral? No, uncle, I'll none. Adam's sons are my brethren, and truly I hold it a sin to match in my kindred.
My daughter, remember what I told you. If the prince do solicit you in that kind, you know your answer.
The fault will be in the music, cousin, if you be not wooed in good time. If the prince be too important, tell him there is measure in everything, and so dance out the answer. For hear me, hero, wooing, wedding, and repenting is as a Scotch jig, a measure and a think pace. The first suite is hot and hasty like a Scotch jig, and full as fantastical. The wedding mannerly modest as a measure, full of state and enchantry, and then comes repentance, and with his bad legs falls into the chinkapace faster and faster, till he sinks into his grave.
Cousin, you apprehend passing shrewdly.
I have a good eye, uncle. I can see a church by daylight.
The revelers are entering, brother. Make good room.
Enter Prince, Pedro, Claudio, and Benedict and Balthazar, and Prince John maskers with a...
Lady, will you walk about with your friend?
So you walk softly and look sweetly and say nothing. I am yours for the walk, and especially when I walk away.
With me in your company.
I may say so when I please,
And when please you to say so.
when I like your favor. For God defend the lute should be like the case.
My visor is Philemon's roof. Within the house is love.
Why then your visor should be thatched.
Speak low if you speak love.
Well, I would you did like me.
So would not I for your own sake, for I have many ill qualities.
Which is one?
I say my prayers aloud.
I love you the better. The hearers may cry amen.
God match me with a good dancer.
Amen.
And God keep him out of my sight when the dance is done. Answer, Clark.
No more words. The clerk is answered.
I know you well enough. You are Signor Antonio.
At a word, I am not.
I know you by the waggling of your head.
To tell you the truth, I counterfeit him.
You could never do him so ill well, unless you were the very man. Here's his dry hand up and down. You are he, you are he.
At a word, I am not.
Come, come. Do you think I do not know you by your excellent wit? Can virtue hide itself? Go to, mum. You are he. Graces will appear, and there's an end.
Will you not tell me who told you so?
No, you shall pardon me.
Nor will you not tell me who you are?
Not now.
That I was disdainful? And that I had my good wit out of the 100 merry tales? Well, this was Signor Benedict that said so.
What's he?
I am sure you know him well enough.
Not I, believe me.
Did he never make you laugh?
I pray you, what is he?
Why, he is the prince's jester, a very dull fool. Only his gift is in devising impossible slanders. None but libertines delight in him. And the commendation is not in his wit, but in his villainy. For he both pleaseth men and angers them. And then they laugh at him and beat him. I am sure he is in the fleet. I would he had boarded me.
Oh, when I know the gentleman, I'll tell him what you say.
Do, he'll but break a comparison or two on me, which peradventure not marked or not laughed at, strikes him into melancholy. And there's a partridge wing saved, for the fool will eat no supper that night. We must follow the leaders.
In every good thing.
Nay, if they lead to any ill, I will leave them at the next turning.
Exeunt. Music for the dance.
Oh, my brother is amorous on Hero. That's it. The ladies follow her, and but one visor remains.
And that is Claudio. I know him by his bearing.
Are not you Signor Benedict?
You know me well. I am he.
Signor, are very near my brother in his love. He is enamored on Hero. I pray you dissuade him from her. She is no equal for his birth. You may do the part of an honest man in it.
How know you he loves her?
I heard him swear his
affection, yeah, so did I too. And he swore he would marry her tonight.
Come, let us to the banquet.
Exit Mane Claudio.
Thus answer I in the name of Benedict, but hear all these ill news with the ears of Claudio. 'Tis certain so. The prince woos for himself. Friendship is constant in all other things, save in the office and affairs of love. Therefore, all hearts in love use their own tongues. Let every eye negotiate for itself and trust no agent, for beauty is a witch against whose charms faith melteth into blood. This is an accident of hourly proof, which I mistrusted not. Farewell, therefore, hero.
Enter Benedict.
Claudio,
Yeah, the same.
come, will you go with me?
Whither?
Even to the next willow. About your own business, Count. What fashion will you wear the garland off? About your neck like a usurer's chain, or under your arm like a lieutenant's scarf? You must wear it one way, for the prince hath got your hero.
I wish him joy of her.
Why, that's spoken like an honest drover, so they sell bollocks. But do you think the prince would have you served thus?
I pray you leave me.
Oh, now you strike like a blind man. 'Twas the boy that stole your meat, and you'll beat the post.
If it will not be, I'll leave you.
Alas, poor hurt fowl, now will he creep into sedges. But that my lady Beatrice should know me, and not know me. The princess, fool? It may be I go under that title, because I am merry. Yea, but so I am apt to do myself wrong. I am not so reputed. It is the base, though bitter, disposition of Beatrice that puts the world into her person, and so gives me out. Well, I'll be revenged as I may.
Well, now, Signor, where's the Count? Did you see him?
Troth, my lord, I have played the part of the Lady Fame. I found him here as melancholy as a lodge in a warren. I told him, and I think told him true, that your grace hath got the will of this young lady, and I offered him my company to a willow tree, either to make him a garland, as being forsaken, or to bind him a rod, as being worthy to be whipped.
To be whipped? What's his fault?
The flat transgression of a schoolboy, who, being overjoyed with finding the bird's nest, shows it his companion, and he steals it.
Wilt thou make a transgression? The transgression is the stealer.
Yet it had not been amiss the rod had been made, and the garland too, for the garland he might have worn himself, and the rod he might have bestowed on you, who, as I take it, have stolen his bird's nest.
I will but teach them to sing and restore them to the owner.
If their singing answer your saying, by my faith, you say honestly.
The Lady Beatrice hath a quarrel to you. The gentleman that danced with her told her she is much wronged by you.
Ho, she misused me past the endurance of a block. An oak, but with one green leaf on it, would have answered her, and my very visor began to assume life and scold with her. She told me, not thinking I had been myself, that I was the prince's jester, and that I was duller than a great thaw, huddling jest upon jest, with such impossible conveyance upon me, that I stood like a man at a mark, with a whole army shooting at me. She speaks poniards, and every word stabs. If her breath were as terrible as terminations, there were no living near her. She would infect to the North Star. I would not marry her, though she were endowed with all that Adam had left him before he transgressed. She would have made Hercules have turned spite, yea, and have cleft his club to make the fire too. Come, talk not of her. You shall find her in the infernal Ate in good apparel. I would to God some scholar would conjure her, for certainly while she is here, a man may live as quiet in hell as in a sanctuary, and people sin upon the purpose, because they would go thither. So indeed all disquiet, horror, and perturbation follows her.
Look, here she comes.
Will your grace command me any service to the world's end? I will go on the slightest errand now to the antipodes that you can devise to send me on. I will fetch you a toothpicker now from the furthest inch of Asia, bring you the length of Prester John's foot, fetch you a hair off great Cham's beard, do you any embassage to the pygmies, rather than how 3 words conference with this harpy. Have you no employment for me?
None but to desire your good company.
Oh God, sir, here's a dish I love not. I cannot endure this lady tongue.
Come, lady, come. You have lost the heart of Signor Benedict.
Indeed, my lord. He lent it me a while, and I gave him use for it. A double heart for a single one. Marry once before he won it off me with false dice. Therefore your grace may well say I have lost it.
You have put him down, lady. You have put him down.
So I would not he should do me, my lord, lest I should prove the mother of fools. I have brought Count Claudio, whom you sent me to seek.
Why, how now, Count? Wherefore are you sad?
Not sad, my lord.
How then? Sick?
Neither, my lord.
The count is neither sad, nor sick, nor merry, nor well, but civil, Count. Civil as an orange, and something of a jealous complexion.
In faith, lady, I think your blazon to be true, though I'll be sworn, if he be so, his conceit is false. Here, Claudio, I have wooed in thy name, and fair hero is won. I have broke with her father, and his good will obtained, name the day of the marriage, and God give thee joy.
Count, take of me my daughter, and with her my fortunes. His grace hath made the match, and all grace say amen to it.
Speak, Count, 'tis your cue.
Silence is the perfectest herald of joy. I were but a little happy if I could say how much. Lady, as you are mine, I am yours. I give away myself for you, and dote upon the exchange.
Speak, cousin, or if you cannot stop his mouth with a kiss, and let him not speak neither.
In faith, lady, you have a merry heart.
Yea, my lord, I thank it. Poor fool, it keeps on the windy side of care. My cousin tell him in his ear that he is in my heart.
And so she doth, cousin.
Good Lord for alliance, thus goes everyone to the world but I. And I am sunburned, I may sit in a corner and cry, hey ho, for a husband.
Lady Beatrice, I will get you one.
I would rather have one of your father's getting. Hath your grace ne'er a brother like you? Your father got excellent husbands if a maid could come by them.
Will you have me, lady?
No, my lord, unless I might have another for working days. Your grace is too costly to wear every day. But I beseech your grace pardon me. I was born to speak all mirth and no matter.
Your silence most offends me, and to be merry best becomes you, for out of question you were born in a merry hour.
No, sure, my lord. My mother cried. But then there was a star danced, and under that I was born. Cousins, God give you joy.
Niece, will you look to those things I told you of?
I cry you mercy, uncle, by your grace's pardon.
By my troth, a pleasant-spirited lady.
There's little of the melancholy element in her, my lord. She is never sad, but when she sleeps, and not even sad then. For I've heard my daughter say she hath often dreamt of unhappiness and waked herself with laughing.
She cannot endure to hear tell of a husband.
Oh, by no means. She mocks all her wooers out of suit.
She were an excellent wife for Benedict.
Oh, Lord, if they were but a week married, they would talk themselves mad. Yeah, this has to be Pedro.
Count Claudio, when mean you to go to church?
Tomorrow, my lord. Time goes on crutches till love have all his rights.
Not till Monday, my dear son, which is hence a just 7 night, and time too brief too to have all things answer my mind.
Come, you shake your head at so long a breathing, but I warn. Oh, you, tell me.
Yeah, that's Pedro.
Yes.
You shake your head at so long a breathing, but I warrant thee, Claudio, the time shall go dully by us. I will in the interim undertake one of Hercules' labors, which is to bring Senor Benedict and the Lady Beatrice into a mountain of affection. The one with the other, I would fain have it a match, and I doubt not but to fashion it, if you three will but minister such assistance as I shall give you direction.
My lord, I am for you, though it cost me 10 nights' watchings.
And I, my lord.
And you to gentle hero?
I will do any modest office, my lord, to help my cousin to a good husband.
And Benedict is not the unhopefullest husband that I know. Thus far can I praise him. He is of a noble strain. of approved valor and confirmed honesty. I will teach you how to humor your cousin, that she shall fall in love with Benedict, and I, with your two helps, will so practice on Benedict, that in despite of his quick wit and his queasy stomach, he shall fall in love with Beatrice. If we can do this, Cupid is no longer an archer. His glory shall be ours, for we are only love gods. Go in with me, and I will tell you my drift.
Exit. Enter John and Baraccio.
It is so. The Count Claudio shall marry the daughter of Leonato.
Yeah, my lord, but I can cross it.
Any bar, any cross, any impediment will be medicinal to me. I am sick to displeasure to him, and whatsoever comes athwart his affection ranges evenly with mine. How canst thou cross this marriage?
Not honestly, my lord, but so covertly that no dishonesty shall appear before me.
Show me briefly how.
I think I told your lordship a year since how much I am in favor of Margaret, the waiting gentlewoman on Hero.
I remember.
I can, at any unseasonable instant of the night, appoint her to look out at her lady chamber's window.
What life is in that to be the death of this marriage?
Poison of that lies in you to temper. Go you to the prince, your brother. Spare not to tell him that he has so wronged his honor in marrying the renowned Claudio, whose estimation do you mightily hold up against a contaminated stale such as one as Hero.
What proof shall I make of that?
Proof enough to misuse the prince, to vex Claudio, to undo Hero, and kill Leonato. But for any other issue?
Only to despite them, I will endeavor anything.
Go then. Find me a meet hour to draw on Pedro and the Count Claudio, alone. Tell them that you know that Hero loves me. Intend a kind of zeal, both to the prince and Claudio, as in the love of your brother's honor, who has made this match, and his friend's reputation, who is thus like to be cozened with the semblance of a maid that you have discovered thus. They will scarce believe this without trial. Offer them instances which shall bear no less likelihood than to see me at her chamber window. Hear me call Margaret Hero. Hear Margaret term me Claudio, and bring them to this the very night before the intended wedding. Right. For the meantime, I will so fashion the matter that Hero shall be absent, and there shall appear such seeming truths in Hero's disloyalty that jealousy shall be called assurance and all the preparation overthrown.
Grow this to what adverse issue it can, I will put it in practice. Be cunning in the working this, and my fee is 1,000 ducats.
Be thou constant in the accusation, and my cunning shall not shame it.
I will presently go learn their day of marriage.
Exit. Enter Benedict alone.
Boy,
Yeah.
in my chamber window lies a book. Bring it hither to me in the orchard.
I'm already here, sir.
I know that, but I would have thee hence and here again. I do much wonder that one man, seeing how much another man is a fool, when he dedicates his behaviors to love, will, after he hath laughed at such shallow follies in others, become the argument of his own scorn, by falling in love. And such a man is Claudio. I have known when there was no music with him but the drum and the fife, and now he had rather hear the tabor and the pipe. I have known when he would have walked 10 mile afoot to see a good armor, and now will he lie 10 nights away carving the fashion of a new doublet. He was wont to speak plain and to the purpose, like an honest man and a soldier. And now is he turned orthography. His words are a very fantastical banquet, just so many strange dishes. May I be so converted and see with these eyes? I cannot tell. I think not. I will not be sworn, but love may transform me to an oyster. But I'll take my oath on it, till he hath made an oyster of me. He shall never make me such a fool. One woman is fair, yet I am well. Another is wise, yet I am well. Another virtuous, yet I am well. But till all graces be in one woman shall not come in my grace. Rich she shall be, that's certain. Wise, or I'll none. Virtuous, or I'll never cheapen her. Fair, or I'll never look on her. Mild, or come not near me. Noble, or not I for an angel. Of good discourse, an excellent musician, and her hair shall be of what color it please God. Ha! The prince and Monsieur love. I will hide me in the arbor.
Enter Prince, Leonardo, Claudio, and Balthazar.
Come, shall we hear this music?
Yeah, my good lord, how still the evening is, as hushed on purpose to grace harmony.
See you where Benedict hath hidden himself?
Very well, my lord. The music ended. We'll fit this kid fox with a pennyworth.
Come, Balthazar, we'll hear that song again.
Oh, good, my lord. Tax not so bad a voice to slander music any more than once.
It is the witness still of excellency to slander music any more than once.
It is the witness of still of excellency to put a strange face on his perfection. I pray thee, sing and let me woo no more.
Because you talk of wooing, I will sing. Since many a wooer doth commence his suit, to her he thinks not worthy, yet he woos, yet will he swear he loves.
Nay, pray thee come, or if thou wilt hold longer argument, dote it in notes.
Note this before my notes. There's not a note worth nothing.
Why, these are very crotchets that he speaks. Notes, forsooth, and nothing?
Now divine air, now is his soul ravished. Is it not strange that sheep's guts should hale souls out of men's bodies? Well, a horn for my money when all's done.
Sigh no more, ladies, sigh no more. Men were deceivers ever. 1 foot in sea and 1 on shore, to one thing constant never. Then sigh no more, let them go, and be you blithe and bonny, converting all your sounds of woe into hey nonny nonny. Sing no more ditties, sing no more, so dull and heavy. The fraud of men were ever so, was levy. Then sigh not so, but let them go, and be you blithe and bonny, converting all your sounds of woe into hey nonny nonny.
By troth, a good song.
And an ill singer, my lord.
No, faith, thou sing'st well enough for a shift.
And he had been a dog that should have howled thus, they would have hanged him, and pray God his bad voice bode no mischief. I had as lief have heard the night raven, come what plague should have come after it.
Yea, marry, dost thou hear, Balthazar? I pray thee, get us some excellent music, for tomorrow night we will have it at the Lady Hero's chamber window.
Best I can, my lord.
Do so. Oh, farewell.
Do so, farewell. Come hither, Leonato. What was it you told me of today, that your niece Beatrice was in love with Senor Benedict?
Oh, aye, stalk on. The fowl sits. I did never think the lady would have loved any man.
No, nor I neither. But most wonderful that she should so dote on Signor Benedict, whom she hath in all outward behaviors seemed ever to abhor.
It's possible? Sits the wind in that corner?
By my troth, my lord, I cannot tell what to think of it, but that she loves him with an enraged affection. It is past the infinite of thought.
Maybe she doth but counterfeit.
Faith-like enough.
Oh, God, counterfeit? There was never counterfeit of passion came so near the life of passion as she discovers it.
Why, what effects of passion shows she?
Bait the hook well, this fish will bite.
What, Effects, my lord? She will sit you. You heard my daughter tell you how.
Oh, she did, indeed.
How, I pray you? You amaze me. I would have thought her spirit had been invincible against all assaults of affection.
I would have sworn it had, my lord, especially against Benedict.
I should think this is a gull. But what the white-bearded fellow speaks it? Knavery cannot sure hide himself in such reverence.
He hath taken the infection, hold it up.
Hath she made her affection known to Benedick?
No, and swears she never will. That's her torment.
'Tis true, indeed. So your daughter says. Shall I, says she, that I've so often countered him with scorn, write to him that I love him?
This says she now when she is beginning to write to him, for she'll be up 20 times a night, and there she will sit in her smock till she have writ a sheet of paper. My daughter tells us all.
Now you talk of a sheet of paper. I remember a pretty jest your daughter told us of.
Oh, when she had read it and was reading it over, she found Benedick and Beatrice between the sheets.
That...
Oh, she tore the letter into 1,000 halfpence, railed at herself that she should be so immodest to write to one that she knew would flout her. I measure him, says she, by my own spirit, for I should flout him if he writ to me. Yea, though I love him, I should.
Bend down upon her knees she falls. She weeps, sobs, beats her heart, tears her hair, prays, curses, sweet Benedict. God give me patience!
She doth indeed, my daughter says so, and ecstasy hath so much overborne her that my daughter is sometimes afeared that she will do a desperate outrage to herself. It is very true.
It were good that Benedick knew of it by some other, if she will not discover it.
To what end? He would but make sport of it, and torment the poor lady worse.
And he should, if were an alms to hang him. She's an excellent sweet lady, and, out of all supposition, she is virtuous.
And she is exceeding wise.
In everything, but in loving Benedick.
Oh, my lord, wisdom and blood combating in so tender a body, we have 10 proofs to 1 that blood hath the victory. I am sorry for her, as I have just cause being her uncle and her guardian.
I would she had bestowed this dotage on me. I would have daffed all other respects and made her half myself. I pray you tell Benedick of it, and hear what he will say.
Were it good, think you?
Hero thinks surely she will die, for she says she will die if he love her not. And she will die ere she make her love known, and she will die if he woo her, rather than she will bate one breath of her accustomed crossness.
She doth well. If she should make tender of her love, 'tis very possible he'll scorn it, for the man, as you know all, hath a contemptible spirit.
He is a very proper man.
He hath indeed a good outward happiness.
For God, and in my mind very wise.
He hath indeed show some sparks that are like wit.
And I take him to be valiant.
As Hector, I assure you, and in the managing of quarrels you may see he is wise, for either he avoids them with great discretion, or undertakes them with a Christian-like fear.
If he do fear God, he must necessarily keep peace, and if he break the peace, he ought to enter into a quarrel with fear and trembling.
And so will he do, for the man doth fear God. Howsoever it seems not in him, by some large jest he will make. Well, I am sorry for your niece. Shall we go see Benedick and tell him of her love?
Never tell him, my lord. Let her wear it out with good counsel.
Nay, that's impossible. She may wear out her heart first.
Well, we will hear further of it by your daughter. Let it cool the while. I love Benedick well, and I could wish he would modestly examine himself to see how much he is unworthy to have so good a lady.
My lord, will you walk? Dinner is ready.
If he do not dote on her upon this, I will never trust my expectation.
Let there be the same net spread for her, and that must your daughter and her gentlewoman carry. The sport will be when they hold one an opinion of another dotage, and no such matter. That's the scene that I would see, which will be merely a dumb show. Let us send her to call him in to dinner.
Exeunt.
This can be no trick. The conference was sadly born. They have the truth of this from Hero. They seem to pity the lady. It seems her affections have the full bent. Love me? Why, it must be requited. I hear how I am censured. They say I will bear myself proudly, if I perceive the love come from her. They say, too, that she will rather die than give any sign of affection. I did never think to marry. I must not seem proud. Happy are they that hear their detractions, and can put them into mending. They say the lady is fair. 'Tis a truth, I can bear them witness. And virtuous, 'tis so, I cannot reprove it. And wise, but for loving me, by my troth, it is no addition to her wit, nor no great argument of her folly. For I will be horribly in love with her. I may chance have some odd quirks, and remnants of wit broken on me, because I have railed so long against marriage. But doth not the appetite alter? A man loves the meat in his youth that he cannot endure in his age. Shall quips and sentences and these paper bullets of the brain awe a man from the career of his own humor? No, the world must be peopled. When I said I would die a bachelor, I did not think I should live till I were married. Here comes Beatrice. By this day she is a fair lady. I do spy some marks of love in her.
Enter Beatrice and unmute yourself, Beatrice.
Against my will, I am sent to bid you come into dinner.
Fair Beatrice, I thank you for your pains.
I took no more pains for those thanks than you take pains to thank me. If it had been painful, I would not have come.
You take pleasure then in the message.
Yes, just so much as you may take upon a knife's point, and to choke a daw withal. You have no stomach, signor. Fare you well.
Ah! Against my will, I am sent to bid you come in to dinner. There's a double meaning in that. I took no more pains for those thanks than you took pains to thank me. That's as much to say, any pains that I take for you is as easy as thanks. If I do not take pity of her, I am a villain. If I do not love her, I am a Jew. I will go get her picture.
Exit. Actus Tertius. Enter Hero and two gentlewomen, Margaret and Ursula.
Good Margaret, run thee to the parlor. There shalt thou find my cousin Beatrice, proposing with the prince and Claudio. Whisper her ear and tell her I and Ursula walk in the orchard, and our whole discourse is all of her. Say that thou overheardst us, and bid her steal into the pleached bower, where honeysuckles ripened by the sun forbid the sun to enter. Like favorites made proud by princes that advance their pride against that power that bred it, there will she hide her to listen our purpose. This is thy office. Bear thee well in it, and leave us alone.
I'll make her come, I warrant you, presently.
Now, Ursula, when Beatrice doth come, as we do trace this alley up and down, our talk must only be of Benedick. When I do name him, let it be thy part to praise him more than ever man did merit. My talk to thee must be how Benedick is sick in love with Beatrice. Of this matter is little Cupid's crafty arrow made, that only wounds by hearsay. Now begin, for look where Beatrice like a lapwing runs close by the ground to hear our conference.
The pleasantest angling is to see the fish cut with her golden oars the silver stream, and greedily devour the treacherous bait. So angle we for Beatrice, who even now is couched in the wind-bine coverture. Fear you not my part of the dialogue.
Then go we near her, that her ear lose nothing of this false, sweet bait that we lay for it. No, truly, Ursula, she is too disdainful. I know her spirits are as coy and wild as haggards of the rock.
But are you sure that Benedict loves Beatrice so entirely?
So says the prince and my betrothed lord.
And did they bid you tell her of it, madam?
They did entreat me to acquaint her of it, but I persuaded them, if they loved Benedick, to wish him wrestle with affection and never to let Beatrice know of it.
Why did you so? Doth not the gentleman deserve as full of fortunate a bed as ever Beatrice shall couch upon?
Oh, God of love, I know he doth deserve as much as may be yielded to a man, but nature never framed a woman's heart of prouder stuff than that of Beatrice. Disdain and scorn ride sparkling in her eyes, misprizing what they look on, and her wit values itself so highly that to her all matter else seems weak. She cannot love, nor take no shape nor project of affection. She is so self-endeared.
Sure, I think so. And therefore certainly it were not good she know his love, lest she make sport of it.
Why, you speak truth. I never yet saw a man, how wise, how noble, young, how rarely featured, but she would spell him backward. If fair-faced, she would swear the gentleman should have been her sister. Back, why, nature, drawing of an antic, made a foul blot. If tall, a lance ill-headed; if low, an agate very vilely cut. If speaking, why, a vane blown with all winds. If silent, why, a block moved with none. So turns she every man the wrong side out, and never gives to truth and virtue that which simpleness and merit purchaseth.
Sure, such carping is not commendable.
No, not to be so odd and from all fashions as Beatrice is, cannot be commendable, but who dares tell her so? If I should speak, she would mock me into air. She would laugh me out of myself, press me to death with wit. Therefore, let Benedick, like covered fire, consume away in sighs, waste inwardly. It were a better death to die with mocks, which is as bad as die with tickling.
Yet tell her of it. Hear what she will say.
No, rather I will go to Benedick and counsel him to fight against his passion. And truly I'll devise some honest slanders to stain my cousin with. One doth not know how much an ill word may empoison liking.
Oh, do not do your cousin such a wrong. She cannot be so much without true judgment, having so swift and excellent a wit as she is prized to have, as to refuse so rare a gentleman as Signor Benedick.
He is the only man of Italy, always excepting my dear Claudio.
I pray you be not angry with me, madam, speaking my fancy. Signor Benedick, for shape, for bearing, argument, and valor, goes foremost in report throughout Italy.
Indeed, he hath an excellent good name.
His excellence did earn it ere he had it. When are you married, madam?
Why, every day tomorrow. Come, go in. I'll show thee some attires and have thy counsel which is best to furnish me tomorrow.
She's ta'en, I warrant you. We have caught her, madam.
If it proves so, then loving goes by haps. Some Cupid kills with arrows, some with traps.
Exit.
What fire is in mine ears? Can this be true? Stand I condemned for pride and scorn so much? Contempt, farewell, and maiden pride, adieu. No glory lives behind the back of such. And Benedick? Love on, I will requite thee, taming my wild heart to thy loving hand. If thou dost love, my kindness shall incite thee to bind our loves up in a holy band. For others say thou dost deserve, and I believe it better than reportingly.
Exit. Enter Prince, Claudio, Benedict, and Leonato.
I do but stay till your marriage be consummate, and then go I toward Aragon.
I'll bring you thither, my lord, if you'll vouchsafe me.
Nay, that would be as great a soil in the new gloss of your marriage as to show a child his new coat and forbid him to wear it. I will only be bold with Benedict for his company, for from the crown of his head to the sole of his foot he is all mirth. He hath twice or thrice cut Cupid's bowstring, and the little hangman dare not shoot at him. He hath a heart as sound as a bell, and his tongue is the clapper, for what his heart thinks, his tongue speaks.
Gallants, I am not as I have been.
So say I. Methinks you are sadder.
I hope he be in love.
Hang him, truant. There's no true drop of blood in him to be truly touched with love. If he be sad, he wants money.
I have but the toothache.
Draw it.
Hang it.
You must hang it first and draw it afterwards.
What? Sigh for the toothache?
Where is but an honor or a worm?
Well, every one cannot master a grief, but he has it.
Yet I say he is in love.
There is no appearance of fancy in him, unless it be a fancy that he hath two strange disguises, as to be a Dutchman today, a Frenchman tomorrow, unless he have a fancy to this foolery, as it appeareth he hath. He is no fool for fancy, as you would have it to appear he is.
If he be not in love with some woman, there is no believing old signs, a brushes his hat a mornings. What should that bode?
Hath any man seen him at the barber's?
Looks like Claudio's having some difficulty there.
Yes,
Claudio?
I apologize. I keep jumping in. Yeah. So no, his cheek has already been stuffed tennis balls.
Indeed, he looks younger than he did by the loss of his beard.
Nay, rubs himself with civet. Can you smell him out by that?
That's as much as to say the sweet youth's in love.
The greatest note of it is his melancholy.
And when was he wont to wash his face?
Yea, or to paint himself, for the which I hear what they say of him.
Nay, but his jesting spirit, which is now crept into a lute string, and now governed by the stops.
Indeed, that tells a heavy tale for him. Conclude, he is in love.
Nay, but I know who loves him.
That would I know too. I warrant one that knows him not.
Yes, and his ill conditions, and in despite of all, dies for him.
She shall be buried with her face upwards.
Yet is this no charm for the toothache, old signor. Walk aside with me. I have studied 8 or 9 wise words to speak to you, which these hobby horses must not hear.
For my life to break with him about Beatrice.
'Tis even so. Hero and Margaret have by this played their parts with Beatrice, and then the two bears will not bite one another when they meet.
My lord and brother, God save you.
Good den, brother.
If your letter served, I would speak with you.
In private.
If it please you, yet Count Claudio may hear, for what I would speak of concerns him.
Oh, what's the matter?
Means your lordship to be married tomorrow?
You know he does.
I know not that when he knows what I know.
If there be any impediment, I pray you discover it.
You may think I love you not. Let that appear hereafter, and aim better at me by that I now will manifest. For my brother, I think he holds you well, and in dearness of heart hath hope to effect your ensuing marriage. Surely suit ill spent and labor ill bestowed.
Why? What's the matter?
I came hither to tell you, and circumstances shortens, for she hath been too long a talking of, the lady is disloyal.
Who, Hero?
Even she, Leonato's hero, your hero, every man's hero.
Disloyal?
The word is too good to paint out her wickedness. I could say she were worse, think you of a worse title, and I will fit her to it. Wonder not till further warrant. Go but with me tonight, you shall see her chamber window entered, even the night before her wedding day. If you love her then, tomorrow wed her, but it would better fit your honor to change your mind.
May
May
this
this be so. May this be so.
I will not think it.
If you dare not trust that you see, confess not that you know. If you will follow me, I will show you enough, and when you have seen more and heard more, proceed accordingly.
If I see anything tonight, why, I should not marry her tomorrow in the congregation where I should wed. There will I shame her.
And as I wooed for thee to obtain her, I will join with thee to disgrace her.
I will disparage her no farther till you are my witnesses. Bear it coldly, but till midnight, and let the issue show itself.
Oh, unday untowardly turned.
Oh, mischief, strangely thwarting.
Oh, plague, right well prevented. So will you say when you have seen the sequel.
Exit. Enter Dogberry and his co-partner with the watch.
Are you all good men and true?
Yea, or else it were pity that they should suffer salvation, body and soul.
Nay, that were a punishment too good for them if they should have any allegiance in them, being chosen for the prince's watch.
Well, give them their charge, neighbor Dogberry.
First, who think you the most desertless man to be constable?
You Oatcake, sir, or George Seacole, for they can read and write.
Come hither, neighbor Seacole. God hath blessed you with a good name. To be a well-favored man is the gift of fortune, but to write and read comes by nature.
Both wish, Master Constable.
You have. I knew 'twould be your answer. Well, for your favour, sir, why give God thanks and make no boast of it. And for your writing and reading, let that appear when there is no need of such vanity. You are thought here to be the most senseless and fit man for the constable of the watch. Therefore, bear you the lantern. This is your charge. You shall comprehend all vagrant men. You are to bid any man stand in the prince's name.
How if we will not stand?
Why then, take no note of him, but let him go, and presently call the rest of the watch together, and thank God you are rid of a knave.
If he will not stand when he is bidden, he is none of the prince's subjects.
True, and they are to meddle with none but the prince's subjects. You shall also make no noise in the streets, for the watch to babble and talk is most tolerable and not to be endured.
Oh, we will rather sleep than talk. We know what belongs to the watch.
Why, you speak like an ancient and most quiet watchman, for I cannot see how sleeping should offend. Only have a care that your bills be not stolen. Well, you are to call in all at the alehouses and bid them that are drunk get them to bed.
How if they will not?
Why then, let them alone till they are sober. If they make you not the better answer, you may say they are not the men you took them for.
Ah, well, sir.
If you meet a thief, you may suspect him by virtue of your office to be no true man. And for such kind of men, the less you meddle or make with them, why, the more for your honesty.
If we know him to be a thief, shall we not lay hands on him?
Truly, by your office you may, but I think that the day that touch pitch will be defiled. The most peaceable way for you, if you do take a thief, is to let him show himself what he is and steal out of your company.
You have been always called a merciful maid partner.
Truly, I would not hang a dog by my will, but not much more a man that hath any honesty in him.
If you hear a child cry in the night, you must call to the nurse and bid her still it.
How if the nurse be asleep and will not hear us?
Why then, depart in peace, and let the child wake her with crying, for the ewe that will not hear her lamb when it bays will never answer a calf when he bleats.
'Tis very true.
This is the end of the charge. You, constable, are to present the prince's own person. If you meet the prince in the night, you may stay him.
Now, byre lady, that I think ye cannot.
5 shillings to 1 on't with any man that knows the statutes. He may stay him, marry not without the prince be willing, for indeed the watch ought not to offend no man, and it is offence to stay a man against his will.
Byre lady, I think it be so.
Well, masters, good night, and there be any means of weight chances, call up me. Keep your fellows' counsel and your own, and good night, come neighbor.
Oh, well, masters, we hear our charge. Let us go sit here upon the church bench till 2, and then all to bed.
1 word more, honest neighbors. I pray you, watch about Signor Leonato's door, for the wedding being there tomorrow, there is a great coil tonight. Adieu! Be vigilant, I beseech you.
What?
Stir not.
Comrade!
Peace, stir not.
Comrade, I say!
Here, man, I am at thy elbow.
Oh, master, my elbow itched. I thought there were a scab followed.
I will owe thee an answer for that. And now forward with thy tale.
Stand thee close under the penthouse, for it drizzles rain, and I will, like a true drunkard, utter all to thee.
Some treason, masters, yet stand close.
Therefore, no, I have earned of Don John 1,000 ducats.
Is it possible that any villainy should be so dear?
I should rather ask if it were possible any villain should be so rich. When rich villains have need of poor ones may make what price they will.
I wonder at it.
That shows our unconfirmed. Thou knowest that the fashion of a doublet or a hat or a cloak is nothing to a man?
Yes, it is apparel.
I mean the fashion.
Yes, the fashion is the fashion.
Tush, I may as well say the fool's the fool. But seest thou not what a deformed thief this fashion is?
Oh, I know that deformed. He has been a vile thief these 7 years, goes up and down like a gentleman. I remember his name.
Oh, now here's somebody.
No, 'twas the vein on the house.
Seest thou not, I say, what a deformed thief this fashion is? How giddily it turns about all the hot bloods between 14 and 5 and 30, sometimes fashioning them like Pharaoh's soldiers in the wretched painting, sometimes like God's bells priests in the old church window, sometimes like the shaven Hercules in the smirched worm-eaten tapestry where his codpiece seems as massive as his club.
All this I see, and see that the fashion wears out more apparel than the man, but art not thou thyself giddy with the fashion too, that thou hast shifted out of thy tale into telling me of the fashion?
Not so neither, but know that I have tonight wooed Margaret, the lady Hero's gentlewoman by the name of Hero. She leads me out her mistress' chamber window, bids me 1,000 times good night. I tell this tale widely. I should first tell thee how the Prince Claudio and my master, planted and placed and possessed by my master John, saw far off in the orchard this amiable encounter.
And thought thy Margaret was Hero.
2 of them did, the Prince and Claudio. The devil, my master, knew she was Margaret, and partly by his oaths, which first possessed them, partly by the dark night, which did deceive them, but chiefly by my villainy, which did confirm any slander that Don John had made. Away went Claudio, enraged, swore he would meet her as he was appointed next morning at the temple, and there before the whole congregation shame her with what he saw overnight and send her home again without a husband.
We charge you in the prince's name, stand.
About the right, Master Constable. We have here recovered the most dangerous piece of lechery that ever was known in the Commonwealth.
And one deformed is one of them. I know him. He wears a lock.
Masters, pray.
Yobi may bring the form forth, I warrant you.
Masters, never speak. We charge you. Let us obey you to go with you.
Feel like to prove a goodly commodity being taken up by these men's bills.
A commodity in question, I warrant you. Come, we'll obey you.
Exeunt. Enter Hero, Margaret, and Ursula.
Good Ursula, wake my cousin Beatrice and desire her to rise.
I will, lady.
And bid her come hither.
Well.
Troth, I think your other abata were better.
No, pray thee, good Meg, I'll wear this.
And my troth not so good, and I warrant her cousin will say so.
My cousin's a fool, and thou art another. I'll wear none but this.
I like the new tire within excellently. If the hair were thought browner and your gown's a most rare fashion, y faith, I saw the Duchess of Milan's gown that they praise so.
Oh, that exceeds, they say.
Well, my troth, but a nightgown in respect of yours, cloth of gold and cuts and laced with silver, set with pearls, down sleeves, side sleeves and skirts, round underborne with a bluish tinsel. But for a fine, quaint, graceful, and excellent fashion, yours is worth 10 of it.
God give me joy to wear it, for my heart is exceeding heavy.
'Twill be heavier soon by the weight of a man.
Fie upon thee! Art not ashamed?
Of what, lady? Of speaking honorably? Is not marriage honorable in a beggar? Is not your lord honorable without marriage? I think you would have me say, saving your reverence a husband, and I'd thinking, do not rest true speaking, I'll offend nobody. Is there any harm in the heavier for a husband? None. Think, and if he be the right husband and the right wife, otherwise 'tis light and not heavy. Ask my lady Beatrice, else here she comes.
To Beatrice.
Good morrow, cuz.
Good morrow, sweet hero.
Why, how now? Do you speak in the sick tune?
I am out of all other tune, methinks.
Claps into light of love, and that goes without a burden. Do you sing it and I'll dance it?
You light above with your heels, then if your husband have stables enough, you'll look he shall lack no barns.
Oh, illegitimate construction. I scorn that with my heels.
'Tis almost 5 o'clock, cousin. 'Tis time you were ready. By my troth, I am exceedingly ill. Hey ho! Oh!
For a horse, a hawk, or a husband?
For the letter that begins them all, H.
Well, and you be not turned Turk, there's no more sailing in the star.
What means the fool tro?
Nothing, I, but God send every one of them her heart's desire.
These gloves the Count sent me, they are an excellent perfume.
I am stuffed, cousin. I cannot smell.
A maid unstuffed, there's a goodly catching of cold.
God help me. God help me. How long have you professed apprehension?
Ever since you left it. Doth not my wit become me rarely?
It is not seen enough. You should wear it in your cap. By my troth, I am sick.
Get you some of this distilled Cardus Benedictus and lay it in your heart. It is the only thing for a qualm.
There thou prickst her with a thistle.
Benedictus. Why Benedictus? You have some morale in this, Benedictus.
Moral? No, by my troth, I have no moral meaning. I meant plain holy thistle. You may think, perchance, that I think you are in love. Nay, bird lady, I am no such a fool to think what I list, nor I list not to think what I can, nor indeed I cannot think. If I would think my heart out of thinking that you are in love, or that you will be in love, or that you can be in love, yet Benedict was such another, and now if he become a man, he swore he would never marry, and yet now, in despite of his heart, he eats his meat without grudging. And now you may be converted, I know not, but methinks you look with your eyes as other women do.
What pace is this that thy tongue keeps?
Not a false gallop.
Enter
Madam, madam, withdraw. The prince, the count, Signor Benedict, Don John, and all the gallants of the town are come to fetch you to church.
Help me to dress me, good Cuz, good Meg, good Ursula.
Enter Leonato and the constable and the headborough.
What would you with me, honest neighbor?
Marry, sir, I would have some confidence with you that discerns you nearly.
Brief, I pray you, for you see it is a busy time with me.
Marry, this it is, sir.
That's Verges.
In truth it is, sir.
What is it, my good friend?
Goodman Verges, sir, speaks a little of the matter. An old man, sir, and his wits are not so blunt as, God help, I would desire they were, but a face honest as the skin between his brows.
Yes, I thank God I am as honest as any man living. That is an old man, and no honester than I.
Comparisons are odorous, palabras, neighbor Verges.
Neighbors, you are tedious.
It pleases your worship to say so, but we are the poor duke's officers. But truly, for mine own part, if I were as tedious as a king, I could find it in my heart to bestow it all of your worship.
All thy tediousness on me, huh?
Yea, and 'twere 1,000 times more than 'tis, for I hear as good exclamation on your worship as of any man in the city, and though I be but a poor man, I am glad to hear it.
And so am I.
I would fain know what you have to say.
Marry, sir, our watch tonight, accepting your worship's presence, hath ta'en a couple of as arrant knaves as any in Messina. Oh, sorry. That's the Verges' line.
That's all right. Just go ahead.
A good old man, sir, he will be talking, as I say. When the age is in, the wit is out. God help us, it is a world to see. Well said, faith, neighbor Verges. Well, God's a good man, and 2 men ride of a horse, 1 must ride behind. An honest soul, if I sir, by my troth he is, as ever broke bread. But God is to be worshipped, all men are not alike, alas, good neighbor.
Indeed, neighbor, he comes too short of you.
Gifts that God gives.
I must leave you.
1 word, sir. Our watch, sir, has indeed comprehended 2 auspicious persons, and we would have them this morning examined before your worship.
Take their examination yourself and bring it me. I am now in great haste, as it may appear to you.
It shall be sufficient.
Drink some wine ere you go. Fare you well.
My lord, they stay for you to give your daughter to her husband.
I'll wait upon them. I am ready.
Go, good partner, get you to Francisco. Bid him bring his pen and ink into the jail. We are now to examine those men.
We must do it wisely.
We will spare, for no wit I warrant you. Here's that shall drive some of them to a non-com. Only get the learned writer to set down our excommunication and meet me at the jail.
Actus Quartus. Enter Prince, Bastard, Leonato, Friar, Claudio, Benedict, Hero, and Beatrice.
Come, Friar Francis, be brief, only to the plain form of matters.
Oh, guys.
What?
Was that Mike?
I want to unmute. I want to take a break here. Can we take a 5-minute break?
Okay.
5 minutes.
Thank you, 5.
Thank you, 5.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I gotta feed my cats, so we're gonna start with that. I didn't realize.
Cats are messy. Come
Man,
on.
what are you doing here?
Okay. 5-minute break.
All right.
Thank you, 5.
Thank you, 5.
Doug Shane.
Thank
This is
you.
a fun play.
Yes.
It really is.
Yeah, and everything's going so well. I'm sure everything will just work out in just a few more minutes. The wedding and then everything's just.
It all goes very well. Claudio isn't fickle at all.
That's right.
Did anyone ever see the Derek Jacobi version on Broadway with the Royal Shakespeare Company?
I saw it a long time ago.
Because in the scene where Benedict is listening in, the boy keeps coming on stage carrying the book. And first, Benedict shoos him back off. Then when he comes back in again, Benedict and the prince and Claudio shoo him away. And finally, at the end of it, as Benedict is going off, the boy comes back on again with the book. Benedict shoos him off, and the boy is so angry he throws the book after him.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, it was
It's a good rule of three joke.
Yeah.
But it is, and I've seen another production, actually, they did it in Shakespeare and Company, where it didn't become that elaborate a thing, but the boy did come back with the book because that's what they're instructed to do.
Yeah.
And then it was like, yeah, just get rid of him because, yeah. And as you see, there are some strange stage directions in some of these things. For the very first scene where we talk about Leonardo's wife, Imogen, who never has really exists other than in the stage direction. And then also there are like sometimes not exits. I mean, the entrances are sometimes written in and sometimes exits aren't. And so you have to get out there. But this is because we're working from the first folio, which was the first collected edition of Shakespeare's plays. Much Ado was actually also published in quarto before that, and pretty much the folio pretty much sort of reprinted the quarto and kept the same mistakes of a lot of the things. Like Jackie Wilson, you know, that it says, at one point it says enter the various people and Jackie Wilson, because Jackie Wilson was a singing actor who played Balthazar. And so the name came in. And
Yeah,
also,
that sort of thing comes in later when Kemp, in the folio, it says Kemp when they're talking about Dogberry. And it was probably Wilson who played them.
Mhm. Yes.
Speaking of mistakes, that line, everyone cannot bear a grief but him that hath it. Shouldn't it be everyone can bear a grief but him that hath it?
Ours not the reason why. Ours but to read it as is.
That's the way it makes sense, is what I'm saying.
I think about Imogen and I'm like, I know what that is, you know, because I was once written in to the Watch in 2008 for Connecticut Free Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing, and a character named Lila. Like, that's what happened with Imogen. Someone just like needed to give someone a part, you know, someone's wife.
Yeah, and apparently back in those days, you know, if you were a royal woman or, you know, a woman of nobility, you know, they'd put on things where, like, you would do these pageants or whatnot, where, like, you would essentially, like, perform in a fresco or something, but because you didn't have any lines, you weren't acting. So that could well have been what that was. It's like, well, here's this lady, and she's not acting because she's not speaking.
So nothing to deal with, like, the unions then.
Yeah, well, I think that was largely under James. I mean, his wife really loved all the masks, and they would do those things. I mean, more in the court.
Right.
I don't think there's any sort of thing where they would have women on stage in general public. I mean, unless you believe Shakespeare in Love, which we have no way of proving. So who knows?
Why couldn't she have just gotten the king to allow women to act?
A great question, Eleanor.
Yeah.
You probably didn't think to.
I mean,
It's
there was
curious
also
why Elizabeth didn't allow women to act.
I think there was a lot of superstition around that kind of stuff at the time that it may have been taboo.
I would say there's a fine line between acting and prostitution in a lot of people's minds at that point in time.
This point too, now.
But only a fine line. They're both the oldest.
Casting couch. Big problem.
And I was going to say that this was a time when like 90% of the people believed in witches, but we live in a time where like 70% of people believe in angels. So, I don't know.
Is that right? 70% of people believe in angels?
Wow. Wouldn't surprise me in America.
Well, if there are angels, then Paul Sugarman is one.
I'd call him a saint. His halo is ready. He's all signed up.
But hey, you know what? At this point, if it gets you through the day, do what you gotta do. I get it.
He loves to hear that men may be betrayed with flatterers, but when I says he hates flattery, he says he does, being then most flattered.
Flattered.
I don't believe that 70%
Jesse,
of
yes.
people believe in angels, by the way. I don't believe that at all. I just don't.
I think I read
I believe in
something like that.
No, it's
No, I
fun-
didn't say
like-
that. But, you know,
Like
but-
I don't believe in them, but I don't begrudge people for believing in it because
no,
at this
I don't
point-
say that. I'm not talking
No.
about what I believe. I don't believe that 70% people believe in angels. I just don't believe that
I
this
think
is.
that there was someone did take a poll and came up with that.
Yeah, there are all sorts of.
I think it was like a Gallup poll or something like that.
It's gotta be Gallup.
Yeah.
At least over 50% believe in angels in the United States. Like, it really wouldn't
I don't know,
surprise
I
me if it
mean,
was like
I guess
70%.
as long as you're not hurting anybody and your belief it keeps you.
Ignorance is not bliss.
Well, I
You're
think
hurting yourself.
Everybody with coronavirus.
part of the play is happy are they that can hear their detractions and put them to mending. I
Yes.
think that is one of the really great lines of this play, and I think
That and the world must be peopled. It's just such a burden, such a burden.
It must be peopled.
That it must.
I'm gonna write that down.
I wanted to ask Miguel.
Begin again.
So we
Michael.
get started?
Yeah.
Yes, it's been more than 5 minutes, so let's get started because there still is, some play to go on. It doesn't just end with a happy winning, at least
Not a
not
happy-
yet.
No.
Not yet. So let us, for those not in the scene, let us stop our video and mute ourselves, and we will resume Actus Quartus. Enter Prince, Bastard, Leonato, Friar, Claudio, Benedict, Hero, and Beatrice.
Come, Friar Francis, be brief, only to the plain form of marriage, and you shall recount their particular duties afterwards. Michael, you're muted.
Oh, okay. You come hither, my lord, to marry this lady?
No.
To be married to her. Friar, you come to marry her.
Lady, you come hither to marry this count.
I do.
If either of you know any inward impediment why you should not be conjoined, I charge you on your souls to utter it.
Know you any hero?
None, my lord.
Know you any count?
I dare make his answer. None.
Oh, what men dare do, what men may do, what men daily do.
How now? Interjections? Why then some be of laughing as he.
Stand thee by, friar. Father, by your leave, will you with this free and unconstrained soul give me this maid, your daughter?
As freely, son, as God did give her me.
And what have I to give you back whose worth may counterpoise this rich and precious gift?
Nothing, unless you render her again.
Sweet prince, you learn me noble thankfulness. There, Leonato, take her back again. Give not this rotten orange to your friend. She's but the sign and semblance of her honor. Behold how, like a maid, she blushes here. Oh, what authority and show of truth can cunning sin cover itself withal? Comes not that blood as modest evidence to witness simple virtue? Would you not swear, all you that see her, that she were a maid by these exterior shows? But she is none. She knows the heat of a luxurious bed. Her blush is guiltiness, not modesty.
What do you mean, my lord?
Not to be married, not to knit my soul to an approved wanton.
Dear my lord, if you, in your own proof, have vanquished the resistance of her youth and made defeat of her virginity.
I know what you would say. If I have known her, you will say she did embrace me as her husband, and so extenuate the forehand sin. No, Leonato, I never tempted her with word too large, but as a brother to his sister showed bashful sincerity and comely love.
And seemed I ever otherwise to you?
Out on thee seeming, I will write against it. You seem to me as Dian to her orb, as chaste as is the bud ere it be blown, but you are more intemperate in your blood than Venus, or those pampered animals that rage in savage sensuality.
Is my lord well that he doth speak so wide?
Sweet prince, why speak not you?
What should I speak? I stand dishonored that have gone about to link my dear friend to a common stale.
Are these things spoken, or do I but dream?
Sir, they are spoken, and these things are true.
This looks not like a nuptial.
True! Oh God!
Oh, Leonardo, stand I here? Is this the prince? Is this the prince's brother? Is this face Hero's? Are our eyes our own?
All this is so, but what of this, my lord?
Let me but move on one question to your daughter, and by that fatherly and kindly power that you have in her, bid her answer truly.
I charge thee do, as thou art my child.
God defend me, how am I beset? What kind of catechizing call you this?
To make you answer truly, to your name.
Is it not Hero? Who can blot that name with any just reproach?
Mary, that can Hero. Hero itself can blot out Hero's virtue. What man was he, talked with you yesternight, out at your window, betwixt 12 and 1? Now, if you are a maid, answer to this.
I talked with no man at that hour, my lord.
Why then, you are no maiden, Leonato. I am sorry you must hear, upon mine honor. Myself, my brother, and this grieved count did see her, hear her, at that hour last night, talk with the ruffian at her chamber window, who hath indeed, most like a liberal villain, confessed the vile encounters they have had 1,000 times in secret.
Fie, fie, they are not to be named, my lord, not to be spoken of. There is not chastity enough in language without offense to utter them. Thus, pretty lady, I am sorry for thy much misgovernment.
Oh, Hero, what a hero hadst thou been if half thy outward graces had been placed about thy thoughts and counsels of thy heart. But fare thee well, most foul, most fair, farewell. Thou pure impiety and impious purity, for thee I'll lock up all the gates of love, and on my eyelids shall conjecture hang to turn all beauty into thoughts of harm, and never shall it be more gracious.
Hath no man's dagger here a point for me?
Why, how now, cousin? Wherefore sink you down?
Come, let us go. These things can also like similar spirits up.
How doth the lady?
Dead, I think. Help, uncle, Hero. Why, Hero? Uncle, Signor Benedict, Friar.
Oh, fate, take away not thy heavy hand. Death is the fairest cover for her shame that may be wished for.
How now, cousin Hero?
Have comfort, lady.
Dost thou look up?
Yea, wherefore should she not?
Wherefore? Why, doth not every earthly thing cry shame upon her? Could she here deny the story that is printed in her blood? Do not live, Hero. Do not ope thine eyes. For did I think thou wouldst not quickly die, thought I thy spirits were stronger than thy shames, myself would on the rearward of reproaches strike at thy life. Grieved I had but one. Chid I for that at frugal nature's frame. Oh, one too much by thee. Why had I one? Why ever wast thou lovely in my eyes? Why had I not with charitable hand took up a beggar's issue at my gates, who smeared thus and mired with infamy? I might have said, oh, no part of it is mine. This shame derives itself from unknown loins. But mine, and mine I loved, and mine I praised, and mine that I was proud on, mine so much that I myself was to myself not mine, valuing of her. Why, she is fallen into a pit of ink, that the wide sea hath drops too few to wash her clean again, and salt too little, which may season give to her foul, tainted flesh.
Sir, be patient. For my part, I am so attired in wonder I know not what to say.
Oh, on my soul, my cousin is belied.
Lady, were you her bedfellow last night?
No, truly, not although until last night I have this 12-month been her bedfellow.
Confirmed. Oh, that is stronger, maid, which was before barred up with ribs of iron. Would the princes lie, and Claudio lie, who loved her so that speaking of her foulness washed it with tears? Hence from her, let her die.
Hear me a little, for I have only been silent so long and given way unto this course of fortune by noting of the lady. I have marked 1,000 blushing apparitions to start into her face, 1,000 innocent shames in angel whiteness bear away those blushes. And in her eye there hath appeared a fire to burn the errors that these princes hold against her maiden truth. Call me a fool. Trust not my reading nor my observations, which with experimental seal doth warrant the tenor of my books. Trust not my age, my reverence, calling, nor divinity, if this sweet lady lie not guiltless here under some biting error.
Friar, it cannot be. Thou seest that all the grace that she hath left is that she will not add to her damnation a sin of perjury. She not denies it. Why seekst thou then to cover with excuse that which appears in proper nakedness?
Lady, what man is he you are accused of?
They know that do accuse me, I know none. If I know more than any man alive, than that which maiden modesty doth warrant, let all my sins lack mercy. Oh, my father, prove you that any man with me conversed at hours unmeet, or that I yesternight maintained the change of words with any creature. Refuse me, hate me, torture me to death.
There is some strange misprison in the princes.
2 of them have the very bent of honor, and if their wisdoms be misled in this, the practice of it lives in John the bastard, whose spirits toil in frame of villainies.
I know not. If they speak but truth of her, these hands shall tear her. If they wrong her honor, the proudest of them shall well hear of it. Time hath not yet so dried this blood of mine, nor age so eat up my invention, nor fortune made havoc of my means, nor my bad life reft me of so much of friends. But they shall find, awaked in such a kind, both strength of limb and policy of mind, ability in means and choice of friends, to quit me of them throughly.
Pause a while. Let me counsel sway you in this case. Your daughter here, the princess, left for dead. Let her a while be secretly kept in, and publish it, that she is dead indeed. Maintain a mourning ostentation, and on your family's old monument hang mournful epitaphs, and do all the rites that appertain unto a burial.
What shall become of this? What will this do?
This well carried shall on her behalf change slander to remorse. That is some good. But not for that dream I on this strange course, but on this travail look for greater birth. She dying, as it must be so maintained, upon the instant that she was accused, shall be lamented, pitied, and excused of every hearer. For it falls out that what we have, we prize not the worth whilst we enjoy it. But being lacked and lost, why then we rack the value. Then we find the virtue that possession would not show us while it was ours. So it will fare with Claudio. He shall hear she died. Upon his words, the ideal of her life shall sweetly creep into his study of imagination, and every lovely organ of her life shall come apparelled in most precious habit, more moving and delicate and full of life into the eye and prospect of his soul than when she lived indeed. Then shall he mourn, if ever love had interest in his liver. Wish he had not so accused her. No, he thought his accusation true. Let this be so, and doubt not but success will fashion the event in better shape than I can lay it down in likelihood. But if all aim but this be levelled false, the supposition of the lady's death will quench the wonder of her infamy. And if not, Sort well, you may conceal her as best befits her wounded reputation in some reclusive and religious life out of all eyes, tongues, minds, and injuries.
Signor Leonato, let the friar advise you. And though you know my inwardness and love is very much unto the prince and Claudio, yet, by mine honor, I will deal in this, as secretly and justly as your soul should with your body.
Being that I flow in grief, the smallest twine may lead me.
'Tis well consented, presently away. For to strange sores, strangely they strain the cure. Come, lady, die to live. This wedding day is perhaps but prolonged. Have patience and endure.
Exit Beatrice and Benedict.
Lady Beatrice, have you wept all this while?
Yea, and I will weep a while longer.
I will not desire that.
You have no reason, I do it freely.
Surely, I do believe your fair cousin is wronged.
Ah, how much might the man deserve of me that would right her?
Is there any way to show such friendship?
A very even way, but no such friend.
May a man do it?
It is a man's office, but not yours.
I do love nothing in the world so well as you. Is that not strange?
As strange as the thing I know not, it were as possible for me to say, I love nothing so well as you, but believe me not, and yet I lie not. I confess nothing, nor I deny nothing. I am sorry for my cousin.
By my sword, Beatrice, thou lovest me.
Do not swear by it and eat it.
I will swear by it, and that you love me, and I will make them eat it that says I love you not.
Will you not eat your word?
With no sauce that can be devised to it, I protest, I love thee.
Why then, God forgive me.
What offense, sweet Beatrice?
You have stayed me in a happy hour. I was about to protest I loved you.
And do it with all thy heart.
I love you with so much of my heart that none is left to protest.
Come, bid me do anything for thee.
Kill Claudio.
Ah, not for the whole world.
You kill me to deny it. Farewell.
Tarry, sweet Beatrice.
I am gone, though I am here. There is no love in you. Nay, I pray you, let me go.
Beatrice!
In faith, I will go.
We'll be friends first.
You dare easier be friends with me than fight with mine enemy?
Is Claudio thine enemy?
Is a not approved in the height a villain that hath slandered, scorned, dishonored my kinswoman? Oh, that I were a man, what bear her in hand till they come to take hands, and then with public accusation, uncovered slander, unmitigated rancor, oh God, that I were a man, I would eat his heart in the marketplace.
Hear me, Beatrice.
Talk of the man out of the window, a proper saying.
Nay, but Beatrice.
Sweet hero, she is wronged, she is slandered, she is undone.
Beat!
Princes and counties, surely a princely testimony, a goodly count, come fet, a sweet gallant, surely. Oh, that I were a man for his sake, or that I had any friend would be a man for my sake. But manhood is melted into courtesies, valor into compliment, and men are only turned into tongue, and trim ones too. He is now as valiant as Hercules that only tells a lie and swears it. I cannot be a man with wishing. Therefore I will die, a woman with grieving.
Tarry, good Beatrice, by this hand I love thee.
Use it for my love some other way than swearing by it.
Think you in your soul the Count Claudio hath wronged Hero?
Yea, as sure as I have a thought or a soul.
Enough, I am engaged. I will challenge him. I will kiss your hand, and so leave you. By this hand, Claudio shall render me a dear account. As you hear of me, so think of me. Go, comfort your cousin. I must say she is dead, and so farewell.
Enter the constables, Baraccio, and the town clerk in gowns.
Is our whole disassembly appeared?
Oh, a stool and a cushion for the sexton.
Which be the malefactors?
Marry, that am I, and my partner.
Nay, that's certain. We have the exhibition to examine.
But which are the offenders that are to be examined? Let them come before Master Constable.
Yea, Mary, let them come before me. What is your name, friend?
Horatio.
Pray write down Borachio. Yours, Sarah?
I am a gentleman, sir, and my name is Conrad.
Write down Master Gentleman Conrad. Masters, do you serve God? Masters, it is proved already that you are little better than false knaves, and it will go near to be thought so shortly. How answer you for yourselves?
Marry, sir, we say we are none.
Ooh, a marvelous witty fellow, I assure you, but I will go about with him. Come you hither, Sarah, a word in your ear, sir. I say to you, it is thought you are a false knave.
Sir, I say to you, we are none.
Well, stand aside, for God, they are both in a tale. Have you writ down that they are none?
Master Constable, you go not the way to examine. You must call forth the watch that are their accusers.
Yea, Mary, that's the eftest way. Let the watch come forth. Masters, I charge you in the prince's name, accuse these men.
This man said, sir, that Don John, the prince's brother, was a villain.
Oh, write down Prince John a villain. Why, this is flat perjury to call a prince's brother villain.
Master Constable.
Oh, pray thee, fellow paste. I do not like thy look, I promise thee.
What heard you him say else?
Mary, that he had received 1,000 ducats of Don John for accusing the lady hero wrongfully.
Oh, flat burglary as ever was committed. Yea, by the mass that it is.
What else, fellow?
And that Count Claudio did mean upon his words to disgrace Hero before the whole assembly and not marry her.
Oh, villain, thou wilt be condemned into everlasting redemption for this.
What else?
This is all.
And this is more, masters, than you can deny. Prince John is this morning secretly stolen away. Hera was in this manner accused, in this very manner it refused, and upon the grief of it this suddenly died. Master Constable, let these men be bound and brought to Leonato. I will go before and show him their examination.
Come, let them be opinioned.
Let them be in the hands of Coxcomb.
God's my life, where's the sexton? Let him write down the prince's officer, Coxcomb. Come, bind them, thou naughty varlet.
Wait, you are an ass! You are an ass!
Dost thou not suspect my place? Dost thou not suspect my ears? Oh, that he were here to write me down an ass. But masters, remember that I am an ass. Though it be not written down, yet forget not that I am an ass. No, thou villain, thou art full of piety, as shall be proved upon thee by good witnesses. I am a wise fellow, and which is more, an officer, and which is more, a householder, and which is more, as pretty a piece of flesh as any's in Messina, and one that knows the law. Go to, and a rich fellow enough. Go to, and a fellow that hath had losses, and one that hath 2 gowns, and everything handsome about him. Bring him away! Oh, that I had been writ down an ass!
Exit. Actus Quintus. Enter Leonato and his brother.
If you go on this, you will kill yourself, and 'tis not wisdom thus to second grief against yourself.
I pray thee, cease thy counsel, which falls into mine ears as profitless as water in a sieve. Give not me counsel, nor let no comfort delight mine ear, but such a one whose wrongs doth suit with mine. Bring me a father that so loved his child, whose joy of her is overwhelmed like mine, and bid him speak of patience. Measure his woe the length and breadth of mine, and let it answer every strain for strain, as thus for thus, and such a grief for such, in every lineament branch, shape, and form, if such a one will smile and stroke his beard, and sorrow, wag, cry hem, when he should be groan, patch grief with proverbs, make misfortune drunk with candle wasters, bring him yet to me, and I of him will gather patience. But there is no man, for brother, men can counsel and speak comfort to that grief which they themselves not feel, but tasting it, their counsel turns to passion, which before would give perceptual medicine to rage, fetter strong madness in a silken thread, charm ache with air, and agony with words. No, no. 'Tis all men's office to speak patience to those that wring under the load of sorrow, but no man's virtue nor sufficiency to be so moral, when he shall endure the like himself. Therefore give me no counsel. My griefs cry louder than advertisement.
Therein do men from children nothing differ.
I pray thee peace. I will be flesh and blood, for there was never yet philosopher that could endure the toothache patiently. However, they have writ the style of gods and made a push at chance and sufferance.
Yet bend not all the harm upon yourself. Make those that do offend thee suffer too.
There, thou speakest reason. Nay, I will do so. My soul doth tell me hero is belied, and that shall Claudio know, so shall the prince, and all of them that thus dishonor her.
Enter Prince and Claudio.
Here comes the prince and Claudio hastily.
Good den, good den.
Good day to both of you.
Hear you, my lords.
We have some haste, Leonato.
Oh, some haste, lord. Well, fare you well, my lord. Are you so hasty now? Well, all is one.
Nay, do not quarrel with us, good old man.
If he could right himself with quarreling, some of us would lie low.
Who wrongs him?
Marry, thou dost wrong me, thou dissembler, thou. Nay, never lay thy hand upon thy sword. I fear thee not.
Marry, beshrew my hand if it should give your age such cause to fear. If faith, my hand meant nothing to my sword.
Man, never fleer and jest at me. I speak not like a dotard nor a fool, as under privilege of age to brag what I have done being young, or what would do were I not old. No, Claudio, to thy head. Thou hast so wronged mine innocent child and me, that I am forced to lay my reverence by, and with gray hairs and bruise of many days, do challenge thee to trial of a man. I say thou hast belied mine innocent child. Thy slander hath gone through and through her heart, and she lies buried with her ancestors, oh, in a tomb where never scandal slept, save this of hers, framed by thy villainy.
My villainy?
Thine, Claudio, thine, I say.
You say not right, old man.
My lord, I'll prove it on his body if he dare, despite his nice fence and his active practice, his May of youth and bloom of lustihood.
Away, I will not have to do with you.
Canst thou so daff me? Thou hast killed my child. If thou killst me, boy, thou shalt kill a man.
He shall kill two of us, and men indeed. For that's no matter, let him kill one first. When me and where me. Let him answer me. Come follow me, boy. Come, sir, boy, come follow me. Sir, boy, I'll whip you from one pointing fence. Nay, as I am not a gentleman, I will.
Brother.
Content yourself. God knows I loved my niece. She's dead. Slandered to death by villains. That dare as well answer a man indeed, as I dare take a serpent by the tongue. Boys, apes, braggarts, jacks, milksops.
Brother Anthony.
Hold you content. What man? I know them, yea, and what they weigh, even the utmost scruple, scrambling, outfacing, fashion-monging boys that lie and cog and flout and deprave and slander. Go antiquely and show outward hideous, and speak of half a dozen dangerous words, how they might hurt their enemies if they durst. And this is all.
But brother Anthony.
Come, 'tis no matter. Do not meddle. Let me deal in this.
Gentlemen both, we will not wake your patience. My heart is sorrow for your daughter's death. But on my honor, she was charged with nothing but what was true, and very full of proof.
My lord, my lord!
I will not hear you.
No? Come, brother, away. I will be heard.
and shall, or some of us will smart for it.
See, here comes the man we went to seek.
Now, Senor, what news?
Good day, my lord.
Welcome, Senor. You are almost come to part almost a fray.
We had liked to have had our two noses snapped off with two old men without teeth.
Leonato and his brother, what thinkst thou? Had we fought, I doubt we should have been too young for them.
In a false quarrel, there is no true valor. I came to seek you both.
We've been up and down to seek thee, for we are high-proof melancholy and would fain have it beaten away. Wilt thou use thy wit?
It is in my scabbard. Shall I draw it?
Dost thou wear thy wit by thy side?
Never any did so, though very many have been beside their wit. I will bid thee draw, as we will be minstrels. Draw, pleasure us.
As I'm an honest man, he looks pale. Art thou sick or angry?
What courage, man! What though care killed a cat? Thou hast mettle enough in thee to kill care.
Sir, I shall meet your wit in the career, and you charge it against me. I pray you choose another subject.
Nay, give them another staff. This last was broken cross.
By this light he changes more and more. I think he be angry indeed.
If he be, he knows how to turn his girdle.
Shall I speak a word in your ear?
God bless me from a challenge.
You are a villain. I jest not. I will make it good how you dare, with what you dare, and when you dare. Do me right, or I will protest your cowardice. You have killed a sweet lady, and her death shall fall heavy on you. Let me hear from you.
Well, I will meet you, so I may have good cheer.
What, a feast? A feast?
If faith I thank him, he hath bid me to a calf's head and a capon, the which if I do not carve most curiously, save my knife's not, shall I not find a woodcock too?
Sir, your wit ambles well. It goes easily.
I'll tell thee how Beatrice praised thy wit the other day. I said thou hadst a fine wit. True, says she, a fine little one. No, said I, a good wit. Just, said she, it hurts nobody. Nay, said I, the gentleman is wise. Certain, said she, a wise gentleman. Nay, said I, he hath the tongues. Then I believe, said she, for he swore a thing to me on Monday night which he forswore on Tuesday morning. There's a double tongue, there's two tongues. Thus did she an hour together transshape thy particular virtues, yet at last she concluded with a sigh, thou wast the properest man in Italy.
For the which she wept heartily and said she cared not.
Yea, that she did, but yet for all that, and if she did not hate him deadly, she would love him dearly. The old man's daughter told us all.
All, and moreover, God saw him when he was hid in the garden.
But when shall we set the savage bull horns on the sensible Benedict's head?
Yea, and text underneath, here dwells Benedict the married man.
Fare you well, boy. You know my mind. I will leave you now to your gossip-like humor. You break jests as braggarts do their blades, which God be thanked hurt not. My lord, for your many courtesies I thank you. I must discontinue your company. Your brother the bastard is fled from Messina. You have among you killed a sweet and innocent lady. For my lord Lackbeard there, he and I shall meet. Until then, peace be with him.
He is in earnest.
In most profound earnest, and I'll warrant you for the love of Beatrice.
And hath challenged thee.
Most sincerely.
What a pretty thing man is, where he goes in his doublet and hose, and leaves off his wit.
Enter Constable, Conrad, and Baraccio.
He is then a giant to an ape, but then is an ape a doctor to such a man.
But soft you, let me be. Pluck up my heart and be sad. Did he not say my brother was fled?
Come you, sir, if justice cannot tame you, she shall ne'er weigh more reasons in her balance. Nay, and you be a cursing hypocrite once, you must be looked to.
How now, two of my brother's men bound? Baracho one.
Hearken after their offense, my lord.
Officers, what offense have these men done?
Marry, sir, they have committed false report. Moreover, they have spoken untruths. Secondarily, they are slanders. Sixth and lastly, they have belied a lady. Thirdly, they have verified unjust things. And to conclude, they are lying knaves.
First, I ask thee what they have done. Thirdly, I ask thee what's their offense. Sixth and lastly, why they are committed. And to conclude, what lay you to their charge?
Rightly reasoned, and in his own division, and by my troth there's one meaning well suited.
Who have you offended, masters, that are thus bound to your answer? The learned constable is too cunning to be understood. What's your offense?
Sweet prince, let me go no further to mine answer. Do you hear me? And let this count kill me. I have deceived even your very eyes. What your wisdoms could not discover, these shallow fools have brought to light. Who in the night overheard me confessing to this man how Don John, your brother, incensed me to slander the lady Hero? How you were brought into the orchard and saw me court Margaret in Hero's garments? How you disgraced her when you should have married her? My villainy they have upon record, which I had rather seal with my death than repeat over to my shame. The lady is dead upon mine and my master's false accusation, and briefly, I desire nothing but the reward of a villain.
Runs not this speech like iron through your blood?
I have drunk poison while he uttered it.
But did my brother set thee on to this?
Yea, pay me richly for the practice of it.
He is composed. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry.
He is composed and framed of treachery, and fled he is upon this villainy.
Sweet Hero, now thy image doth appear in the rare semblance that I loved it first.
Come, bring away the plaintiffs, for by this time our sexton hath reformed Signor Leonato of the matter. And masters, do not forget to specify when time and place shall serve that I am an ass.
Here comes Master Signor Leonato, and the sexton too.
Which is the villain? Let me see his eyes, that when I note another man like him, I may avoid him. Which of these is he?
You would know you're wronger. Look on me.
Art thou the slave that with thy breath hath killed mine innocent child?
Yea, even I alone.
No, not so, villain. Thou beliest thyself. Here stand a pair of honorable men. A third is fled that had a hand in it. I thank you, princes, for my daughter's death, recorded with your high and worthy deeds. 'Twas bravely done, if you bethink you of it.
I know not how to pray your patience, yet I must speak. Choose your revenge yourself. Impose me to what penance your invention can lay upon my sin. Yet sinned I not but in mistaking.
By my soul, nor I. And yet to satisfy this good old man, I would bend under any heavy weight that he'll enjoin me to.
I cannot bid my daughter live. That were impossible. But I pray you both, possess the people in Messina here, how innocent she died. And if your love can labor aught in sad invention, hang her an epitaph upon her tomb and sing it to her bones. Sing it tonight. Tomorrow morning, come you to my house, and since you could not be my son-in-law, be yet my nephew. My brother hath a daughter, almost the copy of my child that's dead, and she alone is heir to both of us. Give her the right that you should have given her cousin, and so dies my revenge.
Oh, noble sir, your overkindness doth wring tears from me. I do embrace your offer and dispose from henceforth of poor Claudio.
Tomorrow, then, I will expect your coming. Tonight, I take my leave. This naughty man shall be face to face be brought to Margaret, who I believe was packed in all this wrong, hired to it by your brother.
No, by my soul, she was not, nor knew not what she did when she spoke to me, but always has been just and virtuous in anything that I do know by her.
Moreover, sir, which is indeed not under white and black, this plaintiff here, the offender, did call me ass. I beseech you, let it be remembered in his punishment. And also the watch heard them talk of one deformed. They say he wears a key in his ear and a lock hanging by it, and borrows money in God's name, the which he hath used so long and never paid, that now men grow hard-hearted and will lend nothing for God's sake. Pray you examine him upon that point.
I thank thee for thy care and honest pains.
Your worship speaks like a most thankful and reverend youth, and I praise God for you.
There's for your pains.
Ooh, God save the foundation.
Go, I discharge thee of thy prisoner, and I thank thee.
I leave an errant knave with the worship, the which I beseech your worship to correct yourself for the example of others. God keep your worship. I wish your worship well. God restore you to health. I humbly give you leave to depart, and if a merry meeting may be wished, God prohibit it. Come, neighbor.
Until tomorrow morning, lords, farewell.
Farewell, my lords. We look for you tomorrow.
Oh, farewell.
We will not fail.
Tonight I'll mourn with Hero.
Bring you these fellows on. We'll talk with Margaret, how her acquaintance grew with this lewd fellow.
Enter Benedict and Margaret.
Pray thee, sweet mistress Margaret, deserve well at my hands by keeping me to this speech of Beatrice.
Will you then write me a sonnet in praise of my beauty?
In so high a style, Margaret, that no man living shall come over it. For in most comely truth thou deserv'st it.
To have no man come over me, why shall I always keep below stairs?
Thy wit is as quick as thy greyhound's mouth. It catches.
And yours as blunt as the fencer's foils, which hit but hurt not.
A most manly wit, Margaret. It will not hurt a woman. And so I pray thee call Beatrice. I give thee the bucklers.
Give us the swords. We have bucklers of our own.
If you use them, Margaret, you must put in the pikes with the vice, and they are dangerous weapons for maids.
Well, I will call Beatrice to you, who I think hath legs.
And therefore will come. The God of love that sits above, and knows me, how pitiful I deserve. I mean in singing, but in loving. Lender the good swimmer, Troilus the first employer of pandars, and a whole book full of those quondam carpetmongers, whose name yet runs smoothly in the even road of a blank verse. Why, they were never so truly turned over and over as my poor self in love. Marry, I cannot show it rhyme, I have tried. I can find it no rhyme to lady but baby, an innocent time, for scorn, horn, a hard time, for school, fool, a babbling time. Very ominous endings, no, I was not born under a rhyming planet, for I cannot woo in festival terms.
Enter Beatrice.
Sweet Beatrice, wouldst thou come when I called thee?
Yea, Signor, and depart when you bid me.
Oh, stay but till then.
Then is spoken. Fare you well now, and yet ere I go, let me go with that I came, which is with knowing what hath passed between you and Claudio.
Only foul words, and thereupon I will kiss thee.
Foul words is but foul wind, and foul wind is but foul breath, and foul breath is noisome, therefore I will depart unkissed.
Thou hast frighted the word out of his right sense, so forcible is thy wit. But I must tell thee plainly, Claudio undergoes my challenge, and either I must shortly hear from him, or I will subscribe him a coward. And I pray thee now tell me, for which of my bad parts didst thou first fall in love with me?
For all of them together, which maintained so politic a state of evil, that they will not admit any good part to intermingle with them. But for which of my good parts did you first suffer love for me?
Suffer love? A good epitaph. I do suffer love indeed, for I love thee against my will.
In spite of your heart, I think. Alas, poor heart. If you spite it for my sake, I will spite it for yours, for I will never love that which my friend hates.
Thou and I are too wise to woo peccably.
It appears
Peaceably.
not. Peaceably. It appears not in this confession. There's not one wise man among 20 that will praise himself.
An old instance, Beatrice, that lived in the time of good neighbors. If a man do not erect in this age his own tomb ere he dies, he shall live no longer in monuments. Then the bells ring and the widow weeps.
And how long is that, think you?
Question. Why an hour in clamor and a quarter in rhyme? Therefore is it most expedient for the wise, if Don Worm, his conscience, find no impediment to the contrary, to be the trumpet of his own virtues, as I am to myself, so much for praising myself, who I myself will bear witness is praiseworthy. And now tell me, how doth your cousin?
Very ill.
And how do you?
Very ill too.
Serve God, love me, and mend. There will I leave you too, for here comes one in haste.
Madam, you must come to your uncle. Yonder's old coil at home. It is proved my lady hero hath been falsely accused, the prince and Claudio mightily abused, and Don John is the author of all, who is fled and gone. Will you come presently?
Will you go hear this news, Signor?
I will live in thy heart, die in thy lap, and be buried in thy eyes. And moreover, I will go with thee to thy uncle's.
Exeunt. Enter Claudio, Prince, and 3 or 4 with tapers.
Is this the monument of Leonardo?
It is, my lord. Done to death by slanderous tongues was the hero that here lies. Death in guerdon of her wrongs gives her fame which never dies. So the life that died with shame lives in death with glorious fame. Hang thou there upon the tomb, praising her when I am dumb.
Now, music sound and sing your solemn hymn.
Pardon, goddess of the night, those that slew thy virgin night, for the which with songs of woe round about her tomb they go. Midnight assist among, help us to sigh and groan. Heavily, heavily, graves yawn and yield your dead, till death be our tread. Heavenly, heavenly. Now unto thy bones, good night. Yearly will I do this right.
Good morrow, masters. Put your torches out. The wolves have prayed, and look, the gentle day before the wheels of Phoebus roundabout dapples the drowsy east with spots of gray. Thanks to you all, and leave us. Fare you well.
Good morrow, masters, each his several way.
Come, let us hence and put on other weeds, and then to Leonato's will we go.
Luckier issue speeds. My apologies. And Hymen now with luckier issue speeds than this for whom we rendered up this woe.
Exeunt. Enter Leonardo, Benedict, Margaret, Ursula, old man, friar, hero.
Did I not tell you she was innocent?
Yea, and so are the prince and Claudio who accused her, upon the error you heard debated. But Margaret was in some fault for this, although against her will, as it appears, in the true course of all the question.
Well, I am glad that all things sort so well.
And so am I, being else by faith enforced to call young Claudio to a reckoning for it.
Well, daughter, and you gentlemen all, withdraw into a chamber by yourselves, and when I send for you, come hither masked. The prince and Claudio promise by this hour to visit me. You know your office, brother. You must be father to your brother's daughter and give her to young Claudio.
Which I will do with confirmed countenance.
Friar, I must entreat your pains, I think.
To do what, Signor?
To bind me, or undo me, one of them. Signor Leonato, the truth it is, good Signor, your niece regards me with an eye of favor.
That I, my daughter, lent her, 'tis most true.
And I do, with an eye of love, requite her.
The sight whereof I think you had from me, from Claudio and the prince. But what's your will?
Your answer, sir, is enigmatical. But for my will is your good will may stand with ours, this day to be conjoined in the state of honorable marriage, in which, good friar, I shall desire your help.
My heart is with your liking.
And my help.
Enter Prince and Claudio with attendants.
Good morrow to this fair assembly.
Good morrow, Prince. Good morrow, Claudio. We here attend you. Are you yet determined today to marry with my brother's daughter?
I'll hold my mind were she an Ethiop.
Call her forth, brother. Here's the friar ready.
Good morrow, Benedict. Why, what's the matter that you have such a February face so full of frost, of storm and cloudiness?
I think he thinks upon the savage bull. Tush, fear not that man, we'll tip thy horns with gold, and all Europa shall rejoice at thee, as once Europa did at lusty Jove, when he would play the noble beast in love.
Bull Jove, sir, had an amiable low, and some such strange bull leapt your father's cow. I got a calf in that same noble feat, much like you, for you have just his bleat.
Enter brother, hero, Beatrice, Margaret, Ursula.
For this I owe you. Here comes other reckonings. Which is the lady I must seize upon?
This same is she, and I do give her you.
Why then she's mine. Sweet, let me see your face.
No, that you shall not, till you take her hand before this friar and swear to marry her.
Give me your hand before this holy friar. I am your husband if you like me.
And when I lived, I was your other wife. And when you loved, you were my other husband.
Another hero?
Nothing certainer. One hero died, but I do live. And surely as I live, I am a maid.
The former hero that is dead.
She died, my lord, but whiles her slanders lived.
All this amazement can I qualify, when after that the holy rites are ended, I'll tell you largely of fair Hero's death. Meantime, let wonder seem familiar, and to the chapel let us presently.
Soft and fair friar, which is Beatrice?
I answer to that name, what is your will?
Do you not love me?
Why, no more than reason.
Why, then your uncle and the prince and Claudio have been deceived. They swore you did.
Do not you love me?
Troth, no more than reason.
Why, then my cousin Margaret and Ursula are much deceived, for they did swear you did.
They swore you were almost sick for me.
They swore you were well nigh dead for me.
'Tis no matter. Then, do you not love me?
No, truly, but in friendly recompense.
Come, cousin, I am sure you love the gentleman.
And I'll be sworn upon that he loves her. For here's a paper written in his hand, a halting sonnet of her own pure brain, fashioned to Beatrice.
And here's another written my cousin's hand, stolen from her pocket, containing her affection to Benedict.
A miracle! Here's our own hands against our hearts. Come, I will have thee, but by this light I take thee for pity.
I would not deny you, but by this good day I yield upon great persuasion. And partly to save your life, for I was told you were in a consumption.
Ah.
I think this is your line. Go ahead. Benedict.
Okay. Peace, I will stop your mouth.
How dost thou, Benedict, the married man?
I'll tell thee what, Prince. A college of witcrackers cannot flout me out of my humor. Dost thou think I care for a satyr or an epigram? No. If a man will be beaten with brains, I shall wear nothing handsome about him. In brief, since I do purpose to marry, I will think no thing to any purpose that the world can say against it, and therefore never flouteth me, for I have said against it. For a man is a giddy thing, and this is my conclusion. For thy part, Claudio, I did think to have thee beaten me, but in that thou art like to be my kinsman, live unbruised, and love my cousin.
I'd well hoped thou wouldst have denied Beatrice, then I might have cudgelled thee out of thy single life to make thee a double dealer, which out of question thou wilt be, if my cousin do not look exceedingly narrowly to thee.
Come, come, we are friends. Let's have a dance ere we are married, that we may lighten our own hearts and our wives' heels.
We'll have dancing afterward.
First, of my word, therefore play music. Prince, thou art sad. Get thee a wife. Get thee a wife! There is no staff more revered than one tipped with horn.
My lord, your brother John is ta'en in flight and brought with armed men back to Messina.
Think not on him till tomorrow. I'll devise the brave punishments for him. Strike up, pipers. I love how it just ends. It's just like, no, I'll deal with that later. Music! We don't have time for that. We don't have time. We gotta go.
That is actually the story of my life. Thank you, Suzanne.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, that was fun.
Thank you all. Doing it.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ian.
When it flows, it's...
Thanks, John.
I must say, I thought I
Sometimes there
did
were
a
some
very good
pauses,
job
but-
casting this.
Yes,
You
Michael,
did.
you really did.
Thank you,
Everybody was
Playmaster.
very just wonderful. Thank you all.
I'm not gonna lie. I definitely felt some like Hamilton vibes of like, all right, I'm gonna have to answer for you words, Burr.
Heard.
Wow, thank you, Paul. This is fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you,
yeah,
Paul.
thank you all
How
for.
come this was never made into a musical?
Ooh, that's
Actually, it
What to
has
do would be
been.
a point.
Just hasn't reached Broadway.
as a
Well, there was a musical of As You Like It they were going to do at the park this summer.
Oh.
There was also a musical of Twelfth Night that nearly made it to Broadway many years
saw
ago.
that.
Yeah, I saw that
Yeah.
one actually. I really dug
Yeah,
it.
in New Jersey.
They did a musical of Twelfth Night also
Yeah.
at the park a couple
They
summers
did it
ago.
in the park. It was
Yes,
wonderful.
yes, it was fun.
And then Kiss Me Kate, and which was Taming of the Shrew, and just
Also, Two Gentlemen
West
of
Side
Bel-Air,
Story.
Raul
a
Julia.
good one.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, that I were a man, like it would be a much better song than If I Were a Belle.
Remember when they tried to do Rockabye Hamlet back in the 70s?
Oh my God, I can only imagine that.
Never works. They try to do musical.
I'm sure it seemed like a good idea at the time, Michael. It was. It was
No.
Yeah,
Was it the same guys who did Hair? I can't remember.
That sounds like something they'd do.
What's that musical about? There's a musical about that guy, or Hop Kelly, who jumped off the Brooklyn Bridge.
Really?
The musical about that.
Yeah.
Look, that can be made into a musical, surely.
And there was also
very musical material.
there was also a musical of Twelfth Night called Your Own Thing.
Right.
Your Own Thing or No Thing, which
Hi,
that's what the
Jennifer.
play's about.
Bye.
Bye, Jennifer.
Unpopular. Roger, you were in Jared Reinmann's Count of Monte Cristo?
Say that again?
You were in Jared Reinmann's Count of Monte Cristo?
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wow.
With my friend Ian Eaton, my beloved friend.
Lila, did you used to live in
He's
New
great.
York? You're in Texas now. Yeah, because you did some of these readings, didn't you? I thought.
I don't know. I mean, I got around,
How's things in
best of us
Texas?
do. The best of us do. We get around. That's
Yeah.
Where are you now? You're in Texas now?
In Dallas, yeah. I still have a home in New York. But I'm in Dallas eating barbecue and
How's it going there? Are they still on lockdown?
I mean
How much time you got?
Actually, I think the governor lifted the lockdown, but more people are getting sick. in Texas.
like no one is
Oh no.
from what
Texas
I've
is
seen,
bad.
no one is really going out.
No
Like
one's sensible, you
it's
mean.
allowed, but no one's doing it because no one is an idiot. Like we don't want to die or like other people sick.
Yeah.
You're talking about opening movie theaters and like movie theaters. That's so dumb.
Did you ever they're doing a Yankee Stadium? They're turning it into a drive-in.
That would be kind of fun. I don't have a car. But
You're right. Like, what New Yorker has a car?
I know, right? They'll all be coming from Westchester.
Yeah. I'd like backseat it with Miguel.
God. Silly.
Bye.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
You never put up the As You Like It? I checked the Instant Shakespeare.
I haven't yet. No, I think I've got it now. Cut out the part I wanted to cut out, so I will try and get that up later today.
Paul's a very busy man, Michael.
What did you cut out?
I know you are.
What did you cut out?
Some of that As You Like It, we had a particularly long pre-show because we had a lot of people in it.
Ah, yes.
And technical difficulties.
And
It went very well. Like everybody was.
Yes, if you cut out the technical difficulties.
Yeah, there was definitely difficulties at the beginning.
Yeah, I found that if you have like an Ethernet cable to your laptop, it gives you one less thing to worry about. It works way smoother.
Well, yeah, I'm
What do you mean?
Sometimes if you're hooked up to just your Wi-Fi, if you have like an actual Ethernet cable hooked into your laptop from the actual router, it's just a stable connection. And also if you put your phone on airplane mode, it works so much smoother.
I don't have a smartphone, and I don't have the kind of cable you're talking about, or the Ethernet, or whatever.
Well, your connection has seemed fine anyway, so maybe you don't need that.
Yeah, yours was fine like the whole time. And by the way, your singing voice was so beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah,
it was really nice.
Thank you all. And I also want to, especially let people know, Miriam, you also do Shakespeare readings on
Every Wednesday, I have a group, Virtual Shakespeare. It's mostly my friends, but you're welcome to join.
Even though we're not your friends.
You're now my friends.
Oh,
okay. I got to be your friend through it. Thank you.
And
Great.
Michael are in it. Evan and I went to college together, and Michael was invited through Evan. Derek was in for one.
Right.
We're doing Hamlet split across 2 weeks for the next 2 weeks. And then then
12th night, and then the histories.
We're going for the Henrys. We're just gonna
Richard II,
All the
followed
Henrys?
by Richard II, the two Henry IVs, Henry V, and then we're going to see whether we need a breather.
No, just go on Henry VI, 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, right.
Most ambitious.
Yeah.
You like know all of history.
Yeah, just learn it through Shakespeare.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
I'll put my my email on the little chat thing, and if you wanted a person to come in, please give me a shout.
Yeah, and Miguel, I think, are we friends on Facebook now? Because I can invite you to the Facebook group.
I think we are, but if not, like, please, absolutely. I'm on there. I'm on Miguel Alejandro Fania because my dad's also Miguel Fania. So
Come on, just cause confusion. You know, comedy of errors here.
I know, and my dad will show up like, "Hey, what's going on here? What kind of Shakespeare? What life is under window
Miriam, I sent you my
live on YouTube.
Miriam, I sent you my email in the chat.
I saw. Do you have Facebook, Eleanor? Because
I do have Facebook.
Great. So you can find me. I'm very easy to find because no one else spells their name like me. Long for a billboard, but easy to find on Facebook.
Cool, awesome. Well, I've got to go eat dinner. About 3 hours late. But,
goodness.
Thank you guys so much. It was great. Thank you so much. I had so much fun. And I'll see you tomorrow, Alex.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. Are we doing Judas Iscariot tomorrow?
We might not be, but I might need you anyway.
Oh, okay. Just text me.
Yeah, we'll do.
All right.
See you guys.
Cool. Bye.
Bye. Right. Good night, and thank you. And we'll be back on Saturday with our Memorial Day sort of. We want to remember our fallen other former Shakespeareans, and also just because it's Memorial Day weekend, So Saturday at 1 o'clock, if anybody's interested in that.
What is that?
It's sort of a Memorial Day observance. Share some if you feel there's something from Shakespeare that's particularly relevant in terms of dealing with grief and with grieving, or with
Sure.
if somebody you want to remember. There's this year, just recently, Doug Rossi had died, who participated in some Shakespeare for a lot of time, and there's some other friends of ours, George Fiffner, who recently passed away, and also, of course, to remember Barry Liebman and Keith Benedict and many other people who've participated. So it's just sort of a way, it probably won't be much more than an hour, just sort of like sharing Shakespeare and sharing memories of some of these people. And also, I mean, I think
That's cool.
Very
Can
nice.
you make sure, Frances, she was very close with Barry. I'm going to tell her to come to this. I'll let her know about this. She doesn't do a lot of Zooms, otherwise I would have invited her to this. But I'm
It's
gonna
a
try to
shame we
see-
don't have Zoom clips that we could show of our fallen comrades.
We didn't tape them then.
Yeah, we didn't
The
have
photos. Yeah.
I've got some pictures, but I'll see if I can find some of those.
All right, I'm going to invite
The words
Francesca.
will serve.
I think she'll like to come to this.
You're right. You're very, very well said, Alex. Yeah, thank you all. I think that's so. Yeah. This was great. Terrific job, Michael, putting together a great
Yeah,
cast.
thanks, Michael.
Thank you,
Thank
Michael.
you all.
Yeah.
I
Thank you,
appreciate
Paul.
it.
Nice to meet you finally. This is great.
Yes, great. Thanks.
Good to meet you
Yeah,
all.
thanks.
Thank you. Hi, Roger. Yes. Where
Thank
are you,
you.
Roger? In Chicago?
Me? No, I'm in Queens.
Oh, you're in Queens. I thought you.
All
Good
righty.
to meet you.
Good night,
Yeah.
Shakespeare.
Good night, everybody.
Alrighty.
Good night to everyone.
Bye-bye.
Good night, all.
Good night.
Night.